Hello, hello, hello. Friday has arrived at last, and I find myself free, so I'm gonna take another swing at this King of the Castle thing. Hello, Leah, and welcome everyone who is hopefully going to trickle in. I tried this a little while ago, but just didn't get anybody. That was also on the same day that the new Monster Hunter released, so oops. I forgot that people like that video game. So, you know, understandable. I also saw before I hit go live that there's like someone who's a little bigger, drawing like triple digit numbers, also streaming this game, so I might get a little buried here, but whatever. I am going to leave this open for a while, and we can just kind of, I'll just yap at ya until we get enough people joining. But if we go like a half an hour or something, rather than just getting a little hissy and ending stream, I'm just going to swap to another game. But we'll see how it goes. But if you're coming in and want to... 30 minutes of Shuffle Machine in the corner of the screen. God. That's not the worst idea, but also not the best idea. But, to join, all you must do is type !join, like Leah did. You can include pronouns like he, she, they, and if you own this game and have the proper things set up, you can actually specify which region you want to join. We have the Chiefs of the North, pagan warriors who like drinking and are very strong. They're very good at military. We have the Grandees of the South, who are all about their faith. They're probably not going to like the Chiefs very much. And we have the Patricians of the Coast, the big memes of my experience in King of the Castle. They either get completely blown out, or crush everyone, and there is absolutely no middle ground. It's really hilarious. The Patricians either get the shit beat out of them by everyone involved, or they're the only ones who win, and they win consistently, and often. Either way, they're a ton of fun, and they're just all about making that money, making that cheddar, so I vibe with them. I have played previously with all the different regions, and I could have continued my file from before, but I felt this would be a little more approachable for people who might be coming in as randoms. Last time I did this successfully, had a lot of random folk coming in. And I figure it would be a little demoralizing to come in and realize, oh, I don't have enough money to do anything meaningful when it comes to the auction phase, because all these people have just rolled over their gold from having played in previous streams. So for that, and to get what I consider a more interesting division of regions, I've done this. I am hoping with three regions that don't really have overlapping interests that it'll be a little more difficult to continue schemes, because as hilarious as it was for some of the games that, like, just ended in 20 minutes with me getting assassinated, maybe we have chat work a little for their victories this time? I'm sure you all worked very hard for your victories before, but, like, one of these days I'm going to win as the Monarch. Right? Right? No, I will not. I am here to be a villain to chat and repeatedly, metaphorically face-plant downstairs in failure. And I accept this role. It's been a bit of a rough week between getting some bad news at work, which was randomly reversed today. They were like, hey, Vim, you know, like, taking incoming calls, the thing that made you want to unalive yourself for about a year during your previous role? Yeah, we're gonna have some people on your team have to do that again, just because we don't have enough people doing your old role. And then randomly, someone filling in for my boss was like, hey, I need volunteers to do this other thing. You will be doing only this thing. And I'm like, so that means I won't have to do phone calls. Sign me up, substitute boss. And that is going to be continuing, so I think I have dodged a very large bullet. At least for now. It could screw me over in other ways later, we'll see. I don't know. I also worry a bit that I maybe should have made a Discord event for this, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll just leave this open for a bit and yap. Yeah. Avoid the shit work. Exactly. It's... ugh. And what they have me doing instead is interesting. I can't talk in detail about my job because I work for what is almost certainly not an organized crime syndicate, but it's about, yeah, exactly. You get it. In a different way, but you get it. I'm working on, like, more kind of preliminary investigative stuff for other people to follow up on. Sort of. Basically, we think we might have a problem, and they're having me and other people try to determine the size of the problem. And that's interesting work to me, because it's a little weird. I hate puzzles, but I like putting together, like, puzzles that aren't literal puzzles, like, that don't rely on spatial intelligence, or, like, you know, physically seeing how things fit together, because my brain ain't wired like that, but I like reasoning things out. I like logicking things. Good Things original boss tried to take credit. I did not let him. Good! Good. Ugh. That is the worst if you have a boss who, like, just doesn't let you do shit, and when you do manage to sneak a thing in, they're like, oh yeah, that was because of me. I've worked for bosses like that. They're kind of the worst. Luckily not for a while, but... And it's also funny, one of my old jobs, I had a boss who was like that, but I only had him when I was still, like, learning the ropes. This was when I was first entering the financial world, so I wasn't that good at my job yet. And then right around the time when, like, they were doing some corporate reorganizing, they, like, shifted some people around on some teams, they put me on this other team, and suddenly, like, I just started doing crazy amounts of numbers, which I know would have contributed to old boss's bonus numbers, because it's based on how other teams do, and, like, more than once he would run into me in the halls and be like, man, Vim, I've been seeing what numbers you've been doing on new boss's team. Like, yeah, I've been doing really well there. He's like, yeah. And it was just kind of like, it was like he was staring at me as though I was, like, a bag of money he had dropped somewhere. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go now. I need to use the bathroom. Sure. Yeah. DM him to me, Leah. I'm gonna be falling back into the oh, in the Discord. Sure. I'll be falling back into the cardboard crack eventually, because as much as I've been complaining about modern magic, I know I'm gonna cave for the Final Fantasy set. I know it. Switch. I don't recognize any... I might recognize Larvesta, but man, I'm so out of Pokemon. But yeah, those are pretty. I forget, does Pokemon do, like, the rarity symbols? Like, I know Magic has, like, the color coordinating. Pretty singles if they're affordable. That's reasonable. And I think I might do the same. Like I told you earlier this week, I want my two husbands from Final Fantasy XIV. I want their cards, and if I can get them, that's fine. I don't need anything else. They print lower rarities. I figured that would appeal to you, Silvar. Welcome, man. Welcome. Good to see you. Take the cards. Okay. Huh. That is good of them. Particularly because it feels like when I hear about Pokemon, it's usually about how insane it is to get the physical cards, or, like, how many places have stopped carrying them. No, that's totally fine, Silvar. I came into this willing to let people trickle in. Like I saw before I hit go live, there's somebody who has, like, over 100 live viewers right now who's also streaming this game. So most people who are going to come in as a random will probably go to that guy. For playing, it's not bad. That's good. That's good. And, you know, if collectors get too much into the TCG, if you get too much C in your TCG, it just ruins it for everybody. It becomes, you know, CCG, which I think is kind of technically a different thing. Jeebus. Yeah, you know, must be nice. Like, I peeked on his stream briefly, and he was doing, like, a giveaway and saying, I try not to be this petty. I try not to be this petty, but I've been sleep deprived all week from fucking daylight savings time, so my filter's a little bit less present. He has like 150 people watching. He was doing a giveaway. He's like, man, all these people and only 50 entrants. I'm like, I'd fucking kill to have 50 entrants. What are you talking about? But it's fine. You compare your numbers to your past numbers and to other people's numbers. So I'm sure where I'm in that guy's position, I do the same. Fox, welcome. Whole week has been fucked. I'm sorry to hear that. I think I'm gonna give it another like minute and a half so we start right on the 15 because we have our minimum number and people can join in. I intend to run at least 2 games. I was feeling like I had one of those hangovers that took until about 3 p.m. to wear off because of the news that I have to take fucking phone calls again. I drank my sorrows away last night. A lot. And so I was like, I had to do a presentation to the team. I was like, oh yeah, there's a meeting that the rest of you didn't go to. They mentioned this and this thing. And I like, tried to play it off later like, oh haha, I'm trying to cut back on caffeine. Bad week to do it, it's not going well. I'm not sure if anyone bought it, but it wasn't my boss, it was substitute boss who was there. So she might not give a damn. Because she knows me mostly by reputation, which is pretty good. Although I have kind of a combative reputation with other departments because, you know, I have this insane idea where I want people to do their jobs so that doesn't impact my ability to do my job. And that gets on some people's nerves when they don't want to do their jobs. Having hail may lose power. Ooh, well, hopefully it's alright. That must be some pretty crazy hail if it might knock out power. And we've hit 15 minutes. I am going to begin the game, but fear not, if you're lurking and would like to join later, all you need to do is type !join with your pronouns and your region if you own the game, and you will enter the game. Oh, I think I just have like a tiny chance of like a little bit of rain, I think. Liquor cabinet work till my boss quit drinking and suddenly the office got a lot less cool. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Silvar, have you heard the story about my old boss who did shrooms on her lunch break every day? She would go out to her car, do shrooms, and come back in, be high as a kite the rest of the day. So if I ever need anything, I would just wait till the afternoon and be like, hey boss, can I do this? She'd be like, yeah, Vim, that's fine. Like, barely looking in my direction. I'm like, I love this fucking job. I didn't, actually. It was kind of bad looking back, but I thought it was fun, because it was like a real adult job. Anyway, let us begin with the introduction of the council. Now that you're the king, your first duty is to meet with the council of nobles. Your nobles hail from all across the kingdom. The wintry north, the wealthy coast, and of course the scorching south. Let us begin with the chiefs of the north. Good luck in the days ahead, your greatness. You'll need it, dealing with us lot. Yeah, you're the atheist military bros. To the patricians of the coast. A pleasure, your serene highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And the grandees of the south. May the ninth god bless your reign, your majesty. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. Well, honor, faith, maybe if it pursues my own ends, but honor? You're in the wrong setting for that. And with that, the introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as the nobles argue with each other and demand your favor. You sigh and sit back. Is this what the council is like? No wonder your father told you to avoid the throne at all costs. It is your guy, yeah. Let me choose the path to victory. Your Majesty, when you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? So let me see. We've got okay military. Stability is always good. Authority is always good. Our farming's not great. Our trade is... We're kind of decently balanced, honestly. Because, like, the chiefs are strong in military, where the grandees and patricians aren't as much. Grandees are super strong in faith. There's no obvious path here. But, of course, as the greatest king who ever lived, which you all are going to sabotage immediately. I see you're the type who likes to build lots of statues of yourself, aren't you? I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving your authority as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, your majesty. I've never produced an heir in this game. That's my goal for tonight. To at least produce an heir. Because, my god, I have done so badly at this game. Oh, hey, I should also be capturing my cursor. Submit to God. Well, you lost me at word 1. So we confirm. Yes, you did. We had to take her into hiding. Married my son and made it beautiful. Oh, that's right. That's right, yeah. Your Majesty, I've scheduled your coronation to take place in a week's time. Shouldn't I be giving the orders now? Of course, Your Majesty, but to delay any longer would make the nobles restless, and when the nobles get restless, they take their daggers and look for the nearest back. We wouldn't want that, I suppose. As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Of course. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright, so we can host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine. We can invite foreign dignitaries and show off our wealth. We can, not do a tradition. We will not be throwing the king in the river. You may choose anything else, council. Vote as you will. If you want to lower my authority, you don't get a coronation at all. Because otherwise, I know people are gonna throw me into the river. And no, for once I am not starting the game by being thrown in the river. I refuse. Outdated traditions. There's no need for a coronation at all, says the council. It is decided there will be no coronation. Would have been a waste of time and money anyway. Let's look on the bright side. The lack of a coronation bewilders the common folk, most of whom won't see your name or face until the new coins are minted. That's fine, they'll know me for money. That's the important part. No coronation for false kings. Storm of the Foxlove's Puppies clan, powerful political mastermind, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, screaming like a fallen god. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter King Vim. How do we make that happen? And Chief of the North, choose your goal. Lower stability, lower own defiance, or raise authority. Subterfuge, doppelganger, or prophecy. And if you're lurking, if you get in now, you'll be able to help decide the goals of a faction. Fox, I think this is you? Okay, there we go. Prophecy. Raise authority. I mean, I'm a fan of this. The chiefs plan to realize an ancient northern prophecy. Before the new monarch rises, the kingdom will be ruled by a mad tyrant. To advance their scheme, the chiefs must raise authority to 5 or more in 2 seasons. Fabian of the Silvarian lineage, notorious southern elder, stands bathed in sunshine, droning on as in a daze. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Voting is open. You can sorcery, uprising, or witch hunt. Raise authority, raise treasury, or have the highest faith, which you have already. Yep, predictably. Witch hunt. There's all sorts of heresy in the capital, and the grandees intend to expose it. First, they must ensure the South is beyond reproach. To advance their scheme, the grandees must be the region with the highest faith in 3 seasons. Nari of the Busy Being Leah family, legendary former pirate, scribbles with a well-used quill at a hardwood desk, speaking calmly. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Vim. Something must be done. Patricians, you can intimidation, raise stability, conspiracy, lower treasury, or corruption, lower authority. This will put you into direct competition with the chiefs, mind? Why am I giving chat tips? Chat beats me every time. No, Pixie. kingdom holds its breath, waiting to see Leah's choice. Intimidation. Raise stability. I mean, that's good for the kingdom, so... The patricians plan to hold the king hostage in his own palace. First, they must lull the spy master into a false sense of security. To advance their scheme, the patricians must raise stability to 5 or more in 4 seasons. The schemes are set. We have Storm, the questionable claimant, Fabian, the bastard offshoot, and Nari, the treacherous half-sibling. And Laws of the Realm? No! No golden vote? No golden choice? No. Dang. I think, well, no, anonymous voting won't be as effective with, like, because people can just look at chat. It might be more effective if we get more people. How about swing votes? I like the chaos. Though I'm getting rid of that as soon as golden choice appears to bribe you guys into picking what I want. Silver discovered. Silver discovered by Silvar. Imagine. Excellent news from the south, Your Majesty. Prospectors have discovered deposits of silver on my land. Mining will begin. Wait. Lady Patrician, busy being Leah, waves an ancient parchment. The silver belongs to me. The deposit is on our side of the border, and this scroll proves it. This could get nasty, Your Majesty. The border between the south and the coast has always been highly contested. The south owns the silver. They claimed it first. The coast is entitled to the land. They have some paper that says so. Or both regions must share the silver deposit. Ooh, interesting. Monarch's vote is actually really powerful right now. I'm gonna swing votes for chaos and start the vote. You can change your vote after casting your vote. Yeah. So the Chiefs are gonna be the ones to break the tie. Unless Fox achieves comedy, picks C, and just lets me pick whatever I want. Or someone could do a sneaky last-minute change of their vote. You have the power to do so. Oh, the South owns the silver. They claimed it first. So says the Council. Very well, Your August Majesty. The South is now loyal, the coast is now aloof. A bit more defiance. But now the choosing of the Honor Guard. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards, the chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, the grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Unfortunately, we can't recruit the coastal gladiators. There's been a major scandal. Accusations of match fixing and fake blood spilled in the arena. They won't come to the capital until this blows over. You'll need to pick someone else. Oh, I can't pick the Patrician Honor Guard? Interesting. Tell me about the Northern Warriors. Bearded oafs with axes and no manners. They'll get drunk and cause trouble in the palace. No discipline at all, and I can't guarantee they won't run off on some random quest. But they're honorable and in a fight, unbeatable. I have made my decision. I choose the Northern Warriors. I'll make the arrangements at once. The warrior heroes arrive a few weeks later. They swagger in with big grins and bigger axes, belching and singing and roaring out unsavory jokes. One of your courtiers faints. Oh, does it? This is a new dynasty, though, so I wasn't sure if it would, like, carry that over. Pirates already? Oh boy. This did not go well for the patricians last time. You must do something about the pirates that have been plaguing the coast's ocean trade routes. I lost a whole shipment of fine silks. And they killed the crew, of course, so it won't be cheap to replace, as Leah loses wealth. No, this is not foreign pirate lady. These are generic pirates. So we can order the coast navy to patrol the sea routes. We can pay the pirates to leave our ships alone for a year, or say, there's nothing to be done. I'm not gonna rig anything. Council, vote as you will. Though maybe I should have vetoed the military option, because that's probably not gonna work. Observe the political savvy of the chiefs, waiting to be the kingmaker. But the council says there's nothing to be done. The patricians scowl behind their masks and retreat to their opium dens, where they no doubt wonder why they have a king in the first place. The coast is now mutinous. Trade is down, and Leah loses money. Over the coming month, their trade routes are blighted by escalating pirate raids. Still, what are you expected to do? Pirates are a natural risk of seafaring, like sharks or scurvy. The copium in the narration. And now we have the auction. You can spend your hard-earned wealth, or hard-lost wealth in Leah's case, to try to build some things to affect stats around the kingdom. Welcome, Jack. You're just in time for an auction. You are now a proud member of the Grandees of the South. You have to do !fund on this one, Silvar. The monument gets an early bid from the chiefs. The chiefs being a bit more aggressive in fiscal matters. The cathedral getting a strong push from the Grandees. But still plenty of time. Oh, the monument getting more of a push to boost authority. Only the 2 highest funded will be built. It could also be tactical to stay out of it, try to save your money for later. I sure wish I had money. I know, right? If only you were a member of the faction that focuses on money... Oh no. It's like I was saying when I started, the patricians either, like, they do nothing but win, or they get crushed relentlessly under the gears of capitalism. It's kind of amazing. And time is up. The monument is built, boosting the authority of the kingdom, and the cathedral is built, boosting the faith of the South. There are no rebels, but the patricians are on the verge of rebellion because the rest of the kingdom, not the crown, chose to not help them with their pirate problem. Let it be noted. Okay, we have Pirate Queen, Mining News are finding a spouse. Could have vetoed doing nothing. I could have. Your esteemed highness, our pirates are more aggressive than ever. They follow a pirate queen who calls herself the Bloody Gull. She has established a stronghold on a tiny speck of land called Spiderheart Isle. According to our spies, she is growing every day in power and wealth. What are we to do? Only half of our trade vessels reach their destinations. We can send the Navy to assault her stronghold, pay the pirates a hefty sum to leave our ships alone for a year, put a bounty on the Bloody Gull's head, or send a diplomat to broker peace with the Pirate Queen. I think the Crown likes paying other people to handle our problems, so I would prefer the bounty, but the Council may vote as it will. And the entire council so far agrees with me. This probably means I have made a horrible mistake, as I so frequently do. We like a gamba, it's true. You post an impressive bounty on the Bloody Gull's head. And wait. And wait. And wait. 6 weeks later, the pirates have taken near total control of the Ghost Sea. The bounty on the Pirate Queen's head has not been claimed. By all accounts, she is healthier and wealthier than ever. Oh, I get to pick? Interesting. I mean, we can't completely wreck the economy. Although it would be funny to say there's nothing more to be done and just basically zero out Leah's money. But I'm not that mean. Perhaps we can do diplomacy here. Your diplomat arrives at Spiderheart Isle, but is not granted an audience. Instead, the Pirate Queen has him pelted with manure and sends him back with a letter in hand. Your Majesty, the Bloody Gull writes that if you wish to negotiate, you must meet her in person. I cannot advise you take her up on her offer. What's the worst that could happen? I'll have my honor guard with me. Surely they will protect me. Well, Your Majesty, there is always the risk of, to pick an example entirely at random, being pelted with manure. Sylvar, you're picking up yeah, we're on the same wavelength, buddy. If I can marry her. And even if the meeting goes well, you will be legitimizing her false claims of royalty. The nobles will no doubt be annoyed. Stop prattling and book a meeting with the Bloody Gull. Of course, Your Majesty. I will arrange for a meeting as soon as possible. Because, like, if we can just absorb her navy, that's a huge win for us. You know, gotta think all medieval. But there is news of mining. A lot going on the coast this year. Your Highness, you recall the silver deposits between the south and the coast? Our miners followed a rich vein and broke into a series of small caverns lined with smooth silver. What's more, there are tunnels leading to the surface. The surface of the coast, Your Esteemed Highness. The mine is ours, as I always said. I refer once again to the official documents. Murmurs rise among the council. So the Patricians can also mine from the deposit. These official documents must be investigated, or the decision has already been made. Leave this alone. I choose chaos with swing votes. You can change your vote after your vote is cast. I really hope I get the option to marry the Pirate Queen. That would be amazing. I don't know if the game will let me do that. I really hope it does. I really hope it does. This council a big fan of just letting decisions stand once they're made. Stare decisis, says the council. The grandees are relieved with your decision, while the patricians complain that they can hear pickaxe strikes thudding below their feet. Nothing to be done 3.0, good god. Alright, but finding a spouse. In the twisty passages of your castle, you can avoid your advisors, the nobles, even the spy master. There's one person you can't avoid. Your mother. Why haven't you found a spouse yet? It's been almost a year. But mother, I don't want to get married. Nonsense. A king cannot rule alone. Don't worry, I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference? Men, women, or do you not mind? Any. Excellent. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. And more on that later. Far to the north, where snows blanket the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs uncover an ancient prophecy foretelling the rise of a tyrant king and the warrior who will overthrow them. A congregation of god speakers huddle around the tablets detailing the supposedly ancient story, whispering excitedly. Praise Morgana, the tablets are genuine! Then the gods are good and we are blessed. Storm will be our monarch. All hail the Lord Render! Cheers circle the clan hall. A mug of ale is tipped over Storm's head. The influence of the old gods is spreading. We must ensure we keep the old ways of the North alive, and surely Morgana will bless us with the power to crown Storm. For the next stage of the chief's scheme, they must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. Oh, the faith score that they already have at 0? That? Anyway, the chiefs strike a rich vein of iron in the mountains, making 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. I feel really bad that Leah has been getting absolutely shafted. Yeah, exactly. Waited that long. But, you know, as is my tendency, harsh tax for everyone else. Nope, always taxes. Always taxes. The crown needs to fund itself. Okay, let's have the meeting with the pirates and see how disastrously this goes. You travel to the coast, board a magnificent galleon with 10 rippling sails, and are whisked away to Spiderheart Isle for your meeting with the Pirate Queen. That was not leveling the playing field. Nah, it's fine. Absolutely bring my honor guard with me. Am I insane? Her throne room sparkles with heaps of gold and jewels. The walls are bedecked with works of priceless art. She sits on a throne of driftwood, a stolen tiara upon her head. All around her court, pirates are stamping and singing and drinking. They turn quiet when they notice you have arrived. Ahoy there, Your Majesty, from one monarch to another. I'm surprised you accepted my invitation, but gratified. I couldn't resist the chance to see your beauty up close. We choose flirt. Feelings mutual, Your Majesty. Care to crack open a bottle of wine? Beautiful 55 vintage. We sank the ship carrying it, but reclaimed this bottle unbroken from the wreck. If they're cracking open a bottle of wine, I'll be able to observe it and make sure I don't get poisoned. Drink the wine. You sip the wine. It is indeed delicious. You are a remarkable woman. I confess myself beguiled. You talk to the Pirate Queen long into the night, covering all manner of topics, fashion, history, the arts. You're shocked as dawn breaks. Where did the time go? There's definitely something here. A connection. Have a romantic fling with the Pirate Queen! Well, if we're gonna be civilized, you should probably know my true name. Call me Helena. Let's have some... She's part of the Patricians of the Coast now? Let's have some more wine and see where the new day takes us. You go on to enjoy a thoroughly pleasant weekend with the Pirate Queen. Over the next few months, you return to the Pirate Queen again and again under the pretense of negotiating with her. Propose to the Pirate Queen! You bide your time and wait until the moment is right. At long last, you choose to propose to her. On a secluded balcony overlooking the sparkling sea, imagine what we could accomplish together. When you drop to one knee, Helena's hands fly to her mouth. Are you serious? I've never been more serious about anything in my life. She takes the ring, her eyes sparkling with something like triumph. The Patricians of the Coast must object. No. I'm solving your problem here, Leah. I'm solving your pirate problem. I'm solving your pirate problem with my diplomacy. My diplomacy. My diplomacy is solving the problem. Negotiations have gone well. Why wait? Let's get married right now. And so you begin the ceremony in the Bloody Gull's own ship, with a drunken sea captain officiating. Do you take this woman as your wedded wife and queen? I do. And I pronounce you king and wife. Excellent, let's have a beer. We did it, beloved. We're married now, can you believe it? Achievement unlocked, got that booty. You married the Pirate Queen. I love this game. You get a queasy feeling, and it's not seasickness. You nobles are going to be so upset when they hear about this. Not to mention your mother. I regret nothing. I regret nothing. News from the mines. Dreadful tidings from the south, Your Highness. The coastal troops are at the border to take over my silver mine by force. Let me at them, Your Majesty. We can't have this kind of infighting over such a soft metal. We can send soldiers to defend the mines, officially reprimand the coast, or order peace talks between Leah and Silvar. I want to take the dirty centrist option. God, all of these are bad. All of these are bad. All of these are bad. Swing votes, full chaos. Council, you decide. I have no idea here. All of these gambles are bad for the kingdom. Oh. Some quick votes. Seems that Jack and perhaps any new nobles would be... Okay, we send... Oh! Chaos! At the last minute! 2 nobles voted for officially reprimand the coast. You send out a stern proclamation targeting the coast, making it very clear that further infractions will have consequences. It may have helped that the spy master had busy being Leah followed by hooded figures. Stability is up. The south is now loyal. The coast is extremely disloyal. Leah, I'm going to see about getting you some support. The mining site is attacked no more and thrives over the coming months. The treasurer reports growing wealth in the south. Trade increases for the grandees. And eligible options. Screw you, Mom, I married a pirate. Well, I spent weeks finding some suitable matches for you. But I suppose, given the circumstances, I wasted my time. I don't have to listen to you, Mom. I'm the king. In a picturesque castle overlooking the southern city of Mirona, two grandees lie back to enjoy the sun. Praise be, whispers of our plan have reached the peasants, and they are in an uproar. They call for the sins of the king to be laid bare. I've certainly overheard some scandalous things about the new queen consort that we might use to our advantage. We have the High Inquisitor on our side, but we must also sow dissent among the other regions. We won't succeed alone. For the next stage of their scheme, the grandees must raise other regions' defiance to a combined total of at least 8, or ensure another region begins a rebellion in 3 seasons. Oh no. Hey, Monarch's golden choice! That's way better than swing votes. No rebellions yet. We could work together, maybe. Oh, there's a number of things going on. Let us begin in the north. We haven't seen what's going on in the north too much. Tough times in the north. Your Greatness, we've fallen upon hard times. Our villagers are flocking to the south, and we're running out of workers. It's not a surprise. The south is just a better place to live. We can donate treasury money to the northern peasants. We can enact a tithe on the south to raise money for the chiefs, or leave them to deal with it on their own. It's fine so far. It's fine. We cannot do Nothing Can Be Done 4.0. I refuse. The council may vote on the other options as they will. This is where you draw the line. I didn't think they would go for it twice, Leah. Besides, I haven't had a lot of occasions to use the treasury, so may as well spend some of my money to do some good. I can't tell you what this means to the north, Your Highness. Farming goes up, defiance goes down. With the treasurer's help, you arrange payments to be made to peasants who remain in the north. The peasants have full bellies and the farms thrive. What's this shock announcement in the capital? You stare out You stare out over the assembled faces of your nobles. You have a big announcement for them, and you're not sure how they'll take it. Badly, you expect. You clear your throat. You know what? We gotta own it. May I introduce you to your new queen, the one, the only! Your servants blow trumpets to signal the Blood Eagle's arrival. She steps out beside you, clad in a dazzling green gown, a triumphant grin on her face. I am your pirate queen. Bow before me, lick spittles. A collective gasp ripples through the ranks of nobles. Someone faints. One of the patricians begins to weep. Your Serene Highness, how could you? How could you? After all she's done to our ships! Gods above, she's not just a commoner, she's a pirate. She sullies the sanctity of the throne. I'm not angry, just disappointed. Get used to it, bozos! The nobles mutter darkly among themselves. Don't mind them, beloved. They're just jealous. I have my own motion to put before the council. We should legalize piracy. By the 9th, you must be joking. Legalize piracy? No, piracy is a crime. No. D is the best option. D is the best option. Because we get to use her pirates as our de facto navy. I will pay you all to vote D. Please vote D. I mean, no one is gonna go for legalizing piracy. No one is gonna go for legalizing piracy. It would be hilarious, but I know better than to try to get people to legalize piracy. Oh, even with that. It's tied up. Well, I'll just have to break the tie. And encourage her to target other nations instead. You're the queen of this country now. Come on, honey. Very well. I'll send my ships exclusively after merchants from Kurth and Denea. That should make the Patricians happy. Like we'll ever be happy with a scoundrel like you on the throne. Your queen consort's pirate fleet disrupts foreign shipping massively. The Patricians soon have unparalleled mastery of the seas. This was my plan all along, Leah. You see? I did this all for you, and for my own gratification. But mostly for you and the Patricians. Shit. Well, this is fine. Sanctuary. Your Majesty, there's a problem with the cathedral that was recently built in the south. A dangerous outlaw by the name of Ironjaw Mitchell was fleeing the city watch. After a decade-long crime spree, we were finally on the verge of catching him. Just before he's caught, he dives into the cathedral and proclaims sanctuary. According to law, we can't arrest him on holy ground. The audacity of Ironjaw Mitchell to invoke holiness. Sanctuary? That's a thing? Yes, it is. The law of sanctuary is almost as old as the kingdom itself. As long as he remains on holy ground, this Mitchell is a child of the 9th, under the protection of his mercy. I will not allow you to violate that, no matter the nature of this man's crimes. By the 9th, right now Ironjaw Mitchell is living the high life. Priests are feeding him roast dinners and fluffing his pillows. I mean, the only real option here is to repeal the law of sanctuary, but the council may vote as they will. Why do you get to vote? You're rebelling, Leah. Well, I'm cooked. By the 9th, this council can't see beyond their own noses. Faith goes up for everyone, South's defiance raises. Ironjaw Mitchell is never brought to justice. He lives out the rest of his days in the cathedral, eating fine dinners and enjoying the communal wine. He is effectively imprisoned and his crime spree is over, but the common folk lose faith in the king's justice. I like how that increased the South's faith, failing to punish a criminal that was exclusively targeting you guys. Anchored a few miles from the sunny coast, Lady Patrician Busybeing Leah has invited her closest confidants aboard her yacht. Our plans are going better than expected. The spy master thinks that all is well in the kingdom. While the cat's away, the mice shall play. Must you compare us to mice? Dastardly creatures, and I can never trap them properly. Funny you should mention traps. Our next step is to replace the palace watch with our own agents. Indeed, the honor guard are incorruptible, but the watch are another story. If the king can't pay them, they will look for money elsewhere. I wasn't gonna say it, Leah. For the next stage of their scheme, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. Monarch has no heir. The kingdom is in rebellion. So the patricians raise the rebel flag. Let's see news in the south first. What's the sickness that's spreading? Your Majesty, a terrible sickness is spreading among my troops in the south. What can we do about it? If we let the disease run its course, we'll have lost a lot of soldiers we can't afford to lose, but I'm not sure how much we can do. Perhaps the council can see a way forward? We can send medical doctors, we can hire a wizard, we can quarantine the diseased and order the healthy to leave them behind, or do nothing. We will not do nothing. There is a rebellion afoot. Well, or I could bribe. No, I kind of like any of the options. Like, the wizard could be wacky. Council, vote as you wish. You can't vote, Leah. You're rebelling. We have hired a wizard, which I'm sure will work out just fine. A few days later, the wizard Pestia arrives at your court. She is clad in flowing black silk, wearing a mask in the shape of a rodent's face. Explain the problem. Likely black fever carried by body lice. Make sure all your troops are thoroughly bathed and scrubbed with soap. I mean, you know, bathing being an issue in the South. I mean, that won't be hard for the South. Now hand over my money and I'll be on my way. That's all? Why should I give you anything for that? You've given me the advice, idiot. I don't have to pay you a damn thing. Ever heard the expression, never break a promise to a wizard, your majesty? Want to become the main character of a cautionary tale? That will lower military, so never mind. Let's get bullied by a wizard. Fine, here's your money. You follow Pestia's advice and order your soldiers to take a mass bath. Within a few days, the sickness has gone away. And we're now incredibly broke. Rebellion! At long last, the patricians have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in your throne room by Lord Patrician Lucian, his smile gleaming in the light of the braziers. The patricians of the coast will bring you down pretended to the throne. We will rise up and fight for Nari, the true monarch. Yeah, it makes sense with the roleplay. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other will be on the battlefield. Seize him! Come along now. Traitors get the chop. What? But you can't do this. I am an envoy. See? See how the king's tyranny grows worse by the day? Your watchman wastes no time. Lord Patrician Lucian is dragged out into the courtyard, and his head struck from his shoulders. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, your majesty. What are our chances against the rebels? Pretty good. The patricians aren't exactly a military powerhouse. Hope they don't persuade any other regents to join the rebellion. That would be disastrous. How did things get this bad? The leader of the rebellion is Lady Patrician Busy Being Leah. She's citing your past transgressions as reason for the uprising, your inability to stop pirates from ravaging the coast, favoring the grandees in the silver mine dispute, not to mention your marriage to the pirate queen. Urge to murder. Rising. Yes, your majesty. Hold on to that feeling. You'll need it. So this is it. Civil war. That's right, your majesty. The kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before all this is over. No. Leah, no. Can't wait. I'll go dig out the trebuchets. Alright. Opening strike. Do you smell that, my friend? Sorry. I think I stepped in some... That's freedom you can smell. Freedom from the mad tyrant King Vim. At long last, we've risen up against his oppression. But if we want to keep our freedom, we must fight for it. I ask you, my fellow patricians, what will be our opening strike against the king? We can launch a preemptive strike against the chiefs to cripple their military capabilities. We suspect the chiefs may join our cause. We can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the king's authority is low. We could also call upon the church to condemn the king. Or finally, you could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. Vile traitors, choose your tactics! By which I mean vile traitor, because... Assassin, nice. Money. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for meeting with me at such short notice. The sum you offered piqued my interest. You understand why the sum is so high, though? Yeah, that tax break worked out real well for me. Yes, you want me to assassinate the king. It is no trouble. I'm a child of the Viper. If you have the gold and you want a man dead, he's dead. Get it done. That's probably fine. Anyway, an auction begins. Spend your wealth on buildings. I use the gold from the South and the Chiefs to pay for a wizard to fix the South's problem. It's from different accounts, trust me. Definitely. A bid for the prison. What? Wait, Leah can still spend money? But she's rebelling. The Chief's funding a thieves guild. Or no, sorry. That's Jack for the thieves guild. But still plenty of... Oh, not that much time now. Gotta get in soon if you want to... Oh! The aqueduct coming in. The king, not the carpenter. Fair. Ooh, and the observatory to lower faith. And time is up. And the funded buildings are the observatory and the thieves guild. Alright, gotta get 5 victory points to win. A great battle, something's wrong, or mustering an army. Well, I'm not gonna let the rebels have a move immediate. I'm not gonna do mustering an army before a great battle. What's wrong? What's wrong in the capital? Oh, right. It's an evening like any other. You're sitting for dinner, your servants are heaping your table with dishes fit for a king. Goose tongue pie, roast boar, jellied pigeon. As usual, your wife has taken her seat beside you and is tucking in with gusto. And of course, your wine glass is never empty. Prepare to take a generous swig. Huh, slow down, your greatness. I get the first taste, remember? Of course. Each time your drink is refreshed, your honor guard take the first sip in case of poison. It's highly annoying. Ugh! What is wrong with that wine? Before your astonished eyes, the honor guard who sipped your drink turns a distressing shade of purple, and his eyes begin bugging out like an excited pug. Fetch the physician! Ignoring you entirely, he starts swelling and swelling and swelling until... Pop! He explodes, showering all the other honor guards, not to mention a few of your servants, with a foul-smelling purple liquid. Fortunately for your laundry staff, none of it splashes onto you. Well, I say, dinner and show, my dear. As you speak, your voice dies in your throat. One by one, the rest of your slime-soaked honor guards are turning purple. Get the wife to safety. You needn't have worried. Your wife, possessing an exceptionally fine self-preservation instinct, is already gone. That's my girl. Behind you, there's a series of grotesque pops as your honor guards and servants explode one by one until there's nobody left. A few hours later, you go over the horrific events at dinner with your spy master. Oh, yeah, because, like, she's like, I can just go back to being a regular pirate. She has something to run away to, unlike every other spouse I've ever had in this game. Your Majesty, that must have been terribly disturbing. What the hell happened? It's a very rare kind of contagious poison, known as Ainwick's Cascader. It causes the drinker to explode, and whoever is touched by the remains also explodes. As you can imagine, the results can be catastrophic. We were lucky that only your honor guards and a few servants died. Spymaster did it. Who did this? One of the children of the Viper, the most feared assassins in the kingdom. No doubt hired by your enemies in the coast. That poison is one of their specialties, intended for causing maximum chaos. We're still not sure they accessed the wine cellar, but as a precaution, we're pouring away the rest of your stock. Even the very best vintages, the gutters will flow red and white tonight. The Patricians will pay for this! They will, Your Majesty. You can count on it. I need some time to process this. Of course, Your Majesty. The Patricians will stop at nothing, even murder, to bring you down. Thank the Ninth for your honor guard, may they rest in peace. Things could have gone very differently. But before the rebels get to muster an army, let's have a great battle. Vast armies darken the landscape like the shadows of clouds. Flags are flying. Drums are pounding in rhythm with the marching of boots. The kingdom is gripped with civil war. At least that's what you imagine. Most of your time is spent in the safety of your palace, poring over a giant map with your marshal.
Your Majesty, the army of the coast is advancing on the capital, led by that traitorous cur, Lady Patrician busy being Leia. Received word from the commander of our loyalist forces in the south. If they march now, they'll intercept the Patricians in a matter of days. Alternatively, they could join forces with the army of the north. It's risky, but together they'd have a higher chance of defeating the accursed Patricians. What are your orders, Your Majesty?
I saved the army of the south. The south shall fight the coast head-on. Remember, grandees, they tried to steal your silver mines.
Very well, Your Majesty. I'll relay orders to Grandee Jack 6975, the commander in the field. Hopefully they do as they're told. God knows treachery can thrive on a battlefield.
We have our orders, but should we follow them? Grandees, you can follow orders and fight the rebels, defy orders and link up with the chiefs, or do nothing and let rebels reach me without challenge. Ooh, what happens in the case of a tie here? Do I still get to break it even though it's faction specific? Oh, Jack gets the tiebreaker because they're the commander. Okay. The whole city holds its breath. You stew in your palace, waiting for your marshal's return. Finally, she bursts into your throne room, drenched in the blood and sweat of battle. Marshal, report!
At dawn, we drew up in battle formations. It's all very orderly at first, Your Majesty, but after the trumpets blow and the cavalry charge, it's nothing but blood and screams. Anyway, after the red mist lifted, I appraised the situation. The coastal line was breaking. They were fleeing the field. It was a total rout, Your Majesty, with your loyalists scarcely taking a scratch. The Ninth is with us.
Military is now pathetic for the pitiful patricians. Ha ha ha. Huzzah!
This is only the first battle, Your Majesty. We haven't yet won the war. Coastal army is scattered all over the countryside. It'll be months before they can regroup. This gives the chiefs time to bolster their troops.
Where their military is now mighty. They could wipe the floor with everyone else in the kingdom.
It'll all come down to the next battle, Your Majesty. The fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance.
I shall lead the troops personally.
I must advise against this. You'd be in great danger, and inspiring as your presence may be to the troops, your death or severe injury would destroy their morale completely.
You protect me, then. That's your job.
Very well, Your Majesty. I'll prepare your armor and horse. We ride at dawn.
Plus, my wife will probably do a great job at protecting me, too. Maybe. Anyway, now that the great battle has been fought, you can muster an army now, I guess, rebels. That's fine. Along the coastal border, a few flags flap in the sea breeze. Some soldiers mill about randomly, looking scared. The Patricians' troops are gathering, but it's distinctly unimpressive.
This is the best force we could muster, is it?
No, as a matter of fact, this is only the beginning.
I've considered several proposals to further bolster our army for the trials ahead.
Patricians, you can hire mercenaries. You can't conscript peasants. You can try to have the church help you. Or your existing army will be enough. But with the leadership of Commander Jack and my noble presence directly upon the battlefield, the kingdom and its loyalists shall be successful anyway.
Oh, call upon a holy order of the Ninth. Did you know that there are holy orders of knights in the coast? Why no? What do they do? Praying and training to fight, mostly. They don't generate any revenue, so I didn't really notice them until now. Anyway, they're willing to fight alongside us against the king. And how much do we have to pay them? That's the funny part. Nothing! They're doing this for free! I consider our cause righteous. Ree, how odd. I suppose we shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. The church doesn't support us in this conflict, so these knights risk their very souls to help us out. Let's not disappoint them.
Your military has been upgraded to weak. The Holy Knights soon arrive in this coastal camp, riding in gleaming armor atop towering steeds. They are few, but each is worth 20 ordinary soldiers in the field of battle.
I must say, it feels good to have the strength of the Ninth on our side.
But before I end the season, I need to re-up my water and kill pre-rolls, so I'm gonna take a quick break. Stick with me. We shall witness the embarrassing defeat of the pitiful rebels upon my return. Realistically, I'm so glad I was able to get a game going this time. Hope y'all stick with me. I'll be back in just a few. Okay, I return. Thanks for hanging out and your patience, everybody. Jack, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, welcome. I do a lot of stuff besides King of the Castle, but I'm trying to make this at least a monthly thing because I have a lot of fun, chat seems to have a lot of fun, so perfect fit all around. And I have poured myself a preemptive victory whiskey to the defeat of the pitiful Patrician rebellion. I am gonna wait for ads to run out before I advance to the end of the season, just because it could mess some people up trying to do like voting on buildings or whatever. This will be interesting if we can, because every time I've done a rebellion in this game before, it's resulted in my crushing defeat. So I legit don't know how a game continues after you defeat a rebellion. I will be very curious to see that happen. Yes, ads should be over now, Jack. Thank you so much for the follow. I do other stuff aside from King of the Castle, but I'm trying to make this at least a monthly thing, because we all have a lot of fun. Anyway, the season hath ended. Far to the north, an ancient ceremony in a smoky clan hall reaches a fever pitch. Storm, the chief's claimant, sits atop a throne of bones, surrounded by god speakers chanting in a forgotten tongue. And thus, with Morgana as my witness, I hereby crown you the monarch in the north, the Lord Render, soon to be monarch of all the kingdom. Glory to the Lord Render, chosen of Altar. Glory to Morgana in the north. The assembled chiefs roar in chorus with each other. Steins are smashed against one another in celebration.
Now I must bring down the false king in the south and fulfill the prophecy. The only question is how.
You can lower your own defiance or raise your own farming. Lure the king to the north and sacrifice him in a pagan ritual, or sacrifice thousands of goats to the old gods and call upon them to intervene. Oh boy. Okay, so now I have carte blanche to just... Oh no, that's so bad, because if I raise the defiance to the north, they can just... Oh shit, I'm so cooked.
So it is destined, so it will be. Spread the word to all Morgana's children. The Thronebreaker is risen, and the false king will fall.
But first we drink in honor of the gods! More cheers erupt throughout the clan hall. Come morning, there will be a lot of work to do. For the final stage of their scheme, the chiefs must lower their defiance to 1 or less. That's pretty dramatic. The kingdom is burning. As the patricians march their troops across the country, and the king struggles to put out the fires, a secret meeting is held. Deep in the south, in the back garden of a sun-bleached villa, a number of grandees crowd around a figure, raising their arms in a toast. Here's to the future King Fabian and the golden age on the horizon. It has already begun. Merchants and peasants alike know we're their best option for a safe and bright future. May the ninth god strike down the false king for his wickedness. The chiefs believe the ninth to only be a number? True. Soon the Inquisition will be complete and the Archbishop will crown me. But what should be done with the king? Burn him at the stake, of course, by lowering stability, or show mercy in exchange for abdication by lowering authority. Grandees? Yeah, I figured it's a logical continuation point, both from an RP and stats perspective. Burn him at the stake, of course. A glorious way to usher in the new king. The ninth god will surely be pleased. First, the current king's grip on the kingdom must be at an all-time low. We wouldn't want to face any backlash from our little fireworks show, would we? For the final stage of their scheme, the grandees must lower stability to 1 or less. Dang. Alright, I can't afford any tax breaks. The grandees receive 500 wealth from the ninth god. You suspect tax fraud? I take a bribe to stay friends. You know what? Bet. God, I'm gonna have no money, but that's true even if I did do massive tax. Maybe I can convince my wife to share some of her pirating gains with me. I'm sure it's fine. Defectors, and the final battle, an unexpected opportunity. What's going on in the south? Your Majesties, the patricians were marching through the south. They were hit by a fierce rainstorm. Unable to progress through the mud, they've set up camp beside the Torado River. What relevance does this have to us? They're vulnerable, Your Majesty. We must strike. Don't be foolish, Marshal. Do you think our own troops are immune to the weather? We'll have the same problems.
If I may suggest another option, Your Majesty, the patricians are drawing all their water from the Torado River. If we were to poison it upstream, their troops would suffer greatly.
Egad, that's a dishonorable way to conduct a war. Your Majesty, you cannot seriously be considering this. Where do we get all this poison?
We herd all the cattle in the south onto the riverbank upstream and allow their effluents to flow freely into the river. The water will be contaminated. It's hard to fight on an upset stomach. Ninth above, you are devious. I don't feel comfortable with this, Your Majesty. I'll need council approval before I proceed.
We're not doing, I mean, we got a good shot. I like Poisocane, but I think we just kill him. But, Council, you can vote as you will. Commander Jack has firm faith in the troops. The decision is unanimous. We ambush the rebel camp with all available southern troops.
Ah, that's more like it. A good old-fashioned battle as the Ninth intended.
Your southern troops prove more resilient terrain than the Patricians. They charge into the camp, taking the rebels by surprise and wreak havoc. By the time the Patricians have rallied their troops, your soldiers have already melted back among the trees, leaving chaos in their wake.
Heh, that'll show the bastards. We didn't even need to dishonor ourselves in the process.
The Patricians' military is once again pathetic.
I maintain it was a perfectly viable strategy.
Defectors, question mark? Oh, but that could be to the rebels. I'll see it.
Your Majesty, my agents are everywhere. Busy times right now. I've heard something particularly interesting.
Tell me!
Of course, there are dissenters among the coastal troops who want this conflict as little as we do. My agents could use them to sow opposition amongst their ranks. Would be dangerous, but could significantly damage enemy morale. Or we could lure them to join the northern troops. Some of the chiefs might resent hosting turncoats, but we must be practical.
Oh, we can't bribe them. Oh, I can achieve comedy here. Council, you may vote as you will. Abstain. You know what? I have the support of Commander Jack. The South's Grand General stands with the throne. And we thank them for their support. In the coming weeks, the Spymaster's agents get to work subtly spreading the word about how badly the Patricians are handling the Civil War. One evening, the Marshal strides in, her hair awry and streaked with blood.
I have no idea what the Spymaster's been up to, and I don't care to know. But coastal morale has dropped through the floor. Something's shaking them up, that's for sure. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. And oh my, is that our 5th victory point, Loyalists?
Let's proceed to the final battle. War has taken its toll. All that's left of the Patricians' army are the cowards, the untrained, and the walking wounded.
We're doomed.
Yes, I think we might be doomed.
With no army to speak of, the Patricians cannot march in rebellion. They mill around their camp waiting for the king's forces to come and smash them to pieces.
Nah, I like my current laws. Yeah, you did absolutely stick to convictions. And it fits the RP. The Loyalists are winning the rebellion, the rebels are crumbling. The wars end. It's the night before the final battle. The atmosphere among the northern warriors is jubilant. You've heard plenty of campfire war songs over the last few days. On the journey, you've had to leave most of the luxuries of a king behind. But your marshal was good enough to ensure the royal command tent is always well stocked with wine.
You know what?
It would be really funny if I got assassinated by the Patricians here by drinking, because they already tried that. Abstain from alcohol tonight, I think. You'll need a clear head and sharp wits tomorrow.
Tomorrow we fight. How are you feeling, Your Majesty?
Eager for glory!
See if that feeling survives contact with the enemy. Now that you're here, you can't chicken out. You will need to lead your troops, otherwise their morale will plummet.
Of course.
I'm glad you understand.
The next day at an ungodly hour, you climb onto your warhorse and ride out with your troops to meet the Patricians in the battlefield. The sky is blood red. Flags whip in the wind, horns blow, drums beat. Both sides are in battle formations.
with the enemy visible only as 1,000 gleams of swords and armor. Where did they get 1,000 troops from? Their military's at 0. Your troops are looking at you. They expect an inspiring speech. They can take your lives, but they can never take your salaries? What? Today we stand and we fight, brave warriors of the North. Your soldiers reply with a full-throated roar that nearly knocks you off your horse. That would be funny, Silvar. Charge! Your warhorse surges forward, sweat steaming from its flanks. You raise your sword, and for a beautiful moment, it catches the crimson light of the sun. The army roars and rumbles into motion behind you, gathering momentum like an avalanche. When you reach the enemy lines, however, things get more complicated. It's pure chaos. Soldiers screaming and rolling around in the mud, blades flashing and clashing, blood spurting all over the place. At some point, your warhorse is cut down, but you roll out from under it and spring back up, waving your sword. Your soldiers roar with renewed vigor. Lead your troops! The battle lasts for hours, and then in an instant, it's over. The patricians are running, and instead of fighting them, your soldiers are cheering and chasing them down and shoving swords into their fleeing backs. Your marshal appears at your side, still astride her horse, a fierce grin on her blood-speckled face. Glory! Victory! Glorious victory! Authority is now commanding! We did it! She claps you on the back. We did. After victory comes the bloody, unpleasant business of hunting down and killing the enemy before they can regroup. Their screaming faces will haunt you for a long time. And after that comes the celebration. Your soldiers rampage around the camp, drunk and singing raucously, happy to see another nightfall. Meanwhile, you and your marshal retreat to your tent to plan the next step. Now that we've won, this calls for a drink! Your marshal happily accepts a drink, and you clink your glasses together. It sounds suspiciously like we've won. All that remains of the formalities of victory, Your Majesty. Victory! The marshal rides back out to oversee the siege. A few days later, you receive word that Lady Patrician, busy being Leah's castle, has fallen. And just like that, the rebellion is over. Soon the armies, the grandees, and the chiefs are parading through the city, waving their banners and showing off their loot. Trade increases, grandees and chiefs get wealthier. Meanwhile, Lady Patrician, busy being Leah, the leader of the rebellion, is brought to you in chains. Common folk crowd into the palace to watch the trial. We were doing what was right! Someone had to put a stop to your tyranny! You know what? Loyal members of the council who have contributed so much to winning this war, what say ye? Death for the leader of the rebellion, or do we simply throw her in the dungeon? There is no formal vote in the game, but I will let you vote in chat. The king calls for your advice, my loyal commanders and allies. She tried to take my minds, true. Commander Jack says death. The vote of the Grand Commander does carry a lot of weight. The grandees are unanimous. They call for death. Do any dare to speak for clemency? There is silence for a moment. I abstained very well. The chiefs say nothing. And welcome, Barky, J. Barky. On the advice of Grand General Jack of the South and honored Grandee Silvarian, Lady Patrician, busy being Leah, is sentenced to death. Stiff-backed and silent, Lady Patrician, busy being Leah, is dragged out to the city square and led up onto a platform before the roaring masses. The executioner's axe falls. The head bounces into the crowd, and the common folk kick it around and cheer. And just like that, the coast is defeated. The rebellion is over. The kingdom is yours again. Oh no! Oh no, the North is now loyal because they're... Oh crap, everyone's defiance went way down. And busy being Leah, final words are, I will have my revenge! But busy being Leah too has joined the council.
As you sit resplendent atop your throne, the common folk raise a mighty cheer. Long live the king! They shout, Long live the king! Authority is now oppressive, and that we are now stable. All's well that mostly ends well. That happens after a good beheading, yeah. Doing nothing but following orders. You know, maybe it's like you guys should help the king occasionally, you know? What could go wrong? Somewhere along the coast, Lady Patrician, busy being Leo II, strolls in her olive grove, accompanied by a close friend. Luck is with us, my friend. The palace watch are in our pocket. Some have even agreed to fight on our side when the time comes. Ooh, I don't know if it's legal for the Patricians to have a military yet. We just defeated the rebellion. Music to my ears, and you had no problems? No, they took our money gladly. The kingdom can barely afford to pay them a living wage, but now we must plan our next steps. Patricians, you can try to lower authority or raise your military, kill the king and place their own claimant, or control the king with the threat of an assassination. You got a tough road either way. Legally raised the military after losing a war. Yeah? Over the next few months, we'll have our troops infiltrate the capital, disguised as beggars. They'll swap places with the palace watch, one by one. Once the king realizes he is surrounded by our troops, it'll be too late. He'll be a helpless little fly caught in our web. Magnificent, but once we turn the king into our puppet, won't the chiefs and grandees notice? That's why we need a strong army to make them think twice about challenging us. United with the king's forces, we'll be unstoppable. For the final stage of their scheme, the patricians must raise their military to at least 5. No, I assure you she cannot. I assure you she cannot. Oh god, everyone is at, like, the final stage. Oh god. And the chiefs just win now, right? Certainly rather not. Understandable. The Blood Oath. Your Majesty, most exciting news today. The Northern Chiefs recognize the turbulent state of the kingdom. Even so, they've decided to throw their weight fully behind you, for better or worse. What a coup! They've invited you to sign an accord of friendship, and witness their commitment of unwavering loyalty in a special ceremony. Some kind of northern custom involving a blood oath. Is this necessary? A little letter of fealty would have sufficed. Your Majesty, if I may disagree, Northerners take their traditions very seriously. Entertain them for a short while, and you'll gain a valuable ally. I've taken the liberty of arranging the trip. Chief Foxlove's Puppies was most helpful with the preparations. But it's so cold up there. Don't fret, Your Majesty. During the summer, the weather is quite mild. You'll be leaving at the end of the week. I didn't see any reason for delay. Before you head north, however, you make sure to check in with Helena. Not sure why you're bothering with this whole thing. Sounds like a waste of time to me. I'm worried it might be some kind of trap, my darling pirate queen. Even if it is, at least then you'll have a reason to imprison those sneveling heathens. Keep your honor guard close and you'll be fine. Ah yes, my honor guard. My honor guard, who are definitely still alive. She just ran from, like, the poison explosions. Bring me a souvenir, maybe? I hear they make very nice fur coats. The journey north is long and arduous. After your carriage gets stuck in the mud a third time in as many days, you wonder if maybe you should have diverted more funds to northern infrastructure. Such a pleasure to see you, Your Greatness. I hope the ride wasn't too difficult. How are you finding the north so far? It's rubbish. Though they try to hide it, their face twitches in annoyance. Then they force a laugh. Your Highness, allow us to change your mind. We've got food and drink laid out for you, some of the North's best meats. Do tuck in. The food is pretty good, and the music's not bad either, though you're not sure what the bard is singing about half the time. Our food's delicious. My greatest thanks, Your Highness. We do pride ourselves on a good feast here in the North.
Just wait until after the ceremony, that's when the real fun begins.
Almost as soon as you polish off your meal, Chief Foxlove's puppy summons you out into the cold. You find a mass of chiefs circling a gigantic, barren oak tree. In the distance, a northern god speaker chants a deep, droning incantation in a language you don't understand. Where do I stand? Oh yeah, I'm absolutely getting blood-eagled.
Right over there, Your Majesty, just underneath the tree. Perfect.
You stand beneath the tree, beside the chanting god speaker. You spot a dagger in her hand, but no sign of a goat or a cow or any other sacrificial creature.
Now then, chiefs of the north, it is time to take your oath. Do you all swear your fealty to the one true monarch from now until your dying breath?
The chiefs respond with raucous shouts of approval. By the old gods, I do! Hold on a minute. I'm the king, not the monarch.
Then raise your axes with me, siblings, and let us bear witness to the start of a new age. The Lord Render, chosen of Valter, will now be bathed in the blood of the Pretender.
Oh, I think you forgot the goat, haha. Just then, the god speaker grapples you from behind. As her knife kisses your throat, you try to shout. Only a gurgle comes out. The chiefs cheer in unison as you collapse to the ground. Traitorous scoundrels! Just as you're on the edge of consciousness, Storm, the chosen of Valter, ambles up to you, kneeling over your body.
The king is dead. Long live the monarch.
The chiefs are victorious. As Storm bathed in King Vim's blood, a bolt of lightning struck the sacred oak, splitting it in two. It was a sign from the old gods. The Lord Render had risen. The grandees continued to throw accusations of witchcraft and heresy at their enemies. Everyone gradually learned to ignore them. The Patricians' attempt to worm their way into the palace was uncovered, and a number of arrests were made. Lady Patrician Busy Being Leah ended her life chained upside down to a dungeon wall. You mean the second Busy Being Leah, right? Storm, the Lord Render, marched south at the head of an army. Valter was with them. The throne was seized by force, and the power of the old gods could never be denied again. King Vim the Unbending. Hey, okay. I at least got a decent title that time. But fret not, we'll be running yet another. Continuing in that same line, and now I am Storm. So join me once again. It should put you back in your old positions, and you'll carry over your money from the last game. But don't be shy if you've been just lurking and want to jump in. Now is a perfect time. I'll give everybody a few minutes to get in. I don't think it lets you change pronouns once joined Jack. I'll just try to remember. I'll try to remember when I'm like reading off narration. Because I think Silvar did the same thing last time. You don't need a code. All you need to do is type !join in the chat and pronouns, and it will auto-assign you to one of the regions. If you own the game, you can tell it to !join and a faction, and it'll put you in that faction. But it's all run through chat here. You don't need a code, you don't need a separate tab, no nothing. You just need to be in chat. A proud new chief of the North. Will we have another patrician? To keep Busy Being Leah the Second, the descendant of the traitorous Busy Being Leah. I'll give just another minute, and then we'll get rolling here. I mean, it's like I said when I started the stream. The Patricians either completely steamroll everyone, or they just get bodied. There's no middle ground. Yeah, Dar, Dar or Paj? Darpaj. Yeah, I tend to get wrecked a lot here. Dar works, okay. I tend to get wrecked a lot here, so I pick a lot of options that I think are funny and kind of tactical, but I see myself as just the antagonist to chat here. I have never won a game as the Monarch, and frankly, if I ever do, I'll be shocked. Oh, hey, that reminds me. Let's run some Gamba. You can bet with your garlic coin on who you think will stand victorious at the end of this game. We might run a third game as well. I'll see how my energy level and my vocal cords are holding up after this second game. Oh, I probably should have changed the... I just carried it over from last stream, so I should have called it Monarch Storm, but y'all know what I mean. Welcome, Creep 2. Alright, we have balanced factions. Let's get rolling then. And welcome those of you who came in. The Chiefs just won a victory. Last game, the Patricians declared a rebellion and were crushed mercilessly. Anyway, let's get an introduction to the council, first of all. Oh, was there... I don't think... Okay, he hit. You did it! You seized the throne! We showed them what the Chiefs could do, didn't we? Now just remember which side your bread is buttered. You answer to us, got it? Long live the North. Ha! That's the spirit! Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. First, let us meet the grandees. May the ninth god bless your reign, your highness. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. And the patricians of the coast. A pleasure, your august majesty. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And with that, the introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices. Meanwhile... What do you think? Will they be a good little monarch and do as they're told? Too early to tell. We should have a backup plan just in case. Even the North schemes against me. Real tough for a guy with no clue what's going on. It's fine. You just vote on stuff. Funny things happen. I read them. You pick it up as you go along. Let's have my coronation. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from King Vim, but you must still answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. Let's get this over with. And that is exactly why I include the patricians of the game Creep 2. They're my favorite faction, even if sometimes they get bodied around here. Shall we call the nobles in? Troops shall bear the monarch through the streets atop a shield? That sounds kind of amazing. Ooh, but, you know, we need to honor the North. I would prefer we hold a pagan northern ceremony, but the council may vote as they will. And of course, there's always the option to throw the monarch in the river. Which everyone loves. I think we need a traditional ceremony. But no. But no. Damn it. Throw the monarch into the river. It is decided. The monarch will be thrown into the river. And so it begins. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank, soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination, or is some of the nobles stifling giggles? The path to victory. Understandable. Your Majesty, the history books do not look kindly upon usurpers. Unless, of course, they prove themselves worthy of the throne they have stolen. I'll be way better than King Vim. That guy was terrible. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Obviously not greatest monarch who ever lived. Our trade is pretty good. Our trade is pretty good. Yeah, the architect of a new golden age. Yeah, Storm is a great name.
A lofty goal indeed. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall trade as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty.
I'm not sure, Dar. Chat? Anyone know? I mean, I imagine granting it permission or telling it to go away? Question mark? Valeda of the Darpage clan, a well-known northern prodigy, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, screaming like a fallen god. Morgana's with us! Storm now sits the throne, and the chiefs are in charge, but the other regions will already be scheming to depose them. Do we stay loyal to the new monarch, or cut our losses and put me on the throne instead? Chiefs? Do you want to aid me, or try to lower everyone's faith with Hornblower as your scheme? I'm totally on side with helping you guys. With your military, we'll crush all opposition. I mean, our military. We're the North, after all. I've always been the North. It's in Twitch, you granted the perms. Oh, it's not in game. Okay. That settles it then. Long live the monarch! May they bring glory to Morgana! We can always change our minds. If Storm ever gets out of line, we can take up arms and get rid of him the old-fashioned way. The chief's goal is to aid the monarch by countering the other region's schemes as much as they can. They will win the game if the monarch produces an heir and completes their ambition. Mutual support, of course. However, if defiance gets too high, they can still change their minds and rise up in rebellion. Make a baby, Dim. I would love to make a baby. The game keeps not letting me. Asimo of the Silvarian lineage, eccentric political mastermind, stands bathed in sunshine, speaking softly, which means no taxes. Let's not go crazy.
False pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. You must not allow it to go unanswered.
Grandees, you can subterfuge, intimidation, or excommunication. Lower stability, raise stability, or lower stability. What? Oh, interesting. How will it break the tie? It goes with Jack. It's biased toward the High Commander of the South. Yeah, that's a first for me too. The Grandees plan to hold the monarch hostage in their own palace. First, they must lull the spymaster and fall into a false sense of security. To advance their scheme, the Grandees must raise stability to 5 or more in 4 seasons. It's very U-coded, Silvar. Dorian of the Busy Being Leah family, a notorious coastal political fixer, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, explaining in measured prose. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Monarch Storm. Something must be done. Patricians, you can sorcery, doppelganger, or uprising. Raise authority, lower own defiance, or raise the treasury. Yeah. I have seen the ending where the patricians bankrupt the kingdom and foreclose on my castle, though. That was incredibly demeaning and hilarious. So they say lower their own defiance. Patricians gladly signing up for increased taxes every round. Very bold. The patricians plan to swap the real monarch for a perfect doppelganger. First, they must gain the trust of the spymaster. To advance their scheme, the patricians must keep defiance at 4 or less in 4 seasons. Bastard offshoot, long lost... Does that say nibbling? That says nibbling. What? Huh. Anyway. Glitch? Oh, Monarch's Golden Choice. I love the bribery law. I love the bribery law. Oh, it means child of a sibling. Today I learned. Oh, we have a dynasty event, the Chosen of Valter. Gotta see that first. Hail, Lord Render, Chosen of Valter, the prophecy has come to pass. You sit upon the throne as foretold in a time before time. One last part of the prophecy remains. You must return Torgeir Halbjorn's legendary axe to the north. It was stolen from us by King Arl the Great during his conquest of the clans. Belongs up in the Hall of Heroes, not in the palace vaults as another dusty relic.
No, your august majesty, you mustn't. That axe was given to King Arl as a symbol of the chief's submission to the throne. To return it would fan the flames of northern independence.
This is your destiny. This is why you took the throne. Set up a timeshare? What do you mean, set up a timeshare? Set up a timeshare. That's really funny. But, no, we gotta send the axe back home. That's where my vote lies, but the council may vote as it will. Patricians, being in favor of a timeshare, as expected. Completely unbiased king. Exactly, a completely unbiased. I rule very fairly. Only a few seconds left. Should the grandees want to swing this thing? Alright. With the support of the chiefs, we shall send the axe back to its ancestral home. Thank the gods! The gods are good! After 4 long centuries, the axe returns to its homeland. I know, right? That would be really funny if a timeshare worked, but...
King Arl spilled an ocean of blood for that axe. You'll forever be remembered as the monarch who threw it away.
Though it upsets the patricians and grandees, the common folk are pleased to see the axe of Torgeir return to its place of origin. An ancient theft has been put right. Yeah, I did good. An invitation from the north.
Your Majesty, this year we'll be holding the Winter Feast in my clan hall. It would be an honor if you could attend.
I look forward to it.
Ha! We're looking forward to having you back in the north where you belong.
Grandees are vibing. Absolutely.
As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards, the chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, and the grandees offer the fiercest battle nuns from the Sisterhood of Steel. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all.
You'll choose our northern warriors, won't you, Your Grace? Don't tell me you gone soft and southern already. Tell me about the southern battle nuns.
Terrifying warriors, and they've sworn a vow of silence, so at least they won't spill state secrets. But their faith and loyalty is to the church above all. Even your safety.
What about the northern warriors? Bearded oafs, axes, and no manners, get drunk and cause trouble in the palace. They're honorable and in a fight unbeatable. I have made my decision. I believe I need to not just be... I must be the king, the monarch of all the kingdom. My honor guard shall be the southern nuns. Acts of my ancestors, your greatness. How could you choose them? They were unbeatable, but listen, King Vim, they all died to poison.
I'll make the arrangements at once.
The battle nuns arrive in the palace a few weeks later. They nod to you silently, their solemn steel masks betraying nothing, before filing into formation behind your throne. Unbeatable, not unpoisonable. That makes sense. That's why they had to use poison. A cowardly tactic. And now it's time for auction. Bid on whatever building you like, using your own funds. Ironically, the patricians are a little down at the moment. Would fund something, but I'm broke as a peasant. True. The chiefs and the grandees have got some cash to throw around, though. Grandees, some early funding for a prison. There's no farming buff. and a cathedral. A cathedral in the north? That's interesting. Huh. How do we feel about this, chiefs? A cathedral in the north. It's getting a bit of a coalition of support. Alright, most everyone chooses to save money for now, but support a bill to ban the Ninth Church. Listen, it's not politically expedient, but we're considering it. A cathedral and a prison are built. Oh no, a new trend, We know what this means. South supported, you wouldn't want to ban the church? I mean, no. A new trend, it's crab time!
Lord Patrician Creepto is here to see you, Your Majesty. He wants to sell you, a crab.
Of course he does.
It's the latest trend among the coast, Your Majesty. The patricians have started keeping a species of jeweled crab as a fashionable pet. The creatures are so rare that one can now sell for as much as a mansion.
Very well, send him in.
Thank you for seeing me, Your Majesty. I know the price is steep, but I assure you, these crabs will only go up in value.
Buy the box of crabs!
Counting out your gold, Lord Patrician Creepto assures you that you will not regret your purchase.
No. I know how to play the crab market. I know you guys probably want me to see other solutions, but I refuse to not profit off the crab market. We always buy crab. Yeah, I know. But buying crab is so good.
And tithe trouble.
Your Highness, I've come to submit a complaint about the patricians of the coast. Lately they've been neglecting their tithes. I'm not a debt collector, Archbishop. Who do you think the common folk will blame if the church starts falling? Me? No, Your Highness, they'll blame you alone. Especially if I tell my priests to spread word that you refuse to help a holy man in need. Fine, I'll help. The worst offender is Lord Patrician Creepto. He hasn't paid his tithe in years. King is literally a follower of the old god's truth. I want an example to be made of him. Order the patricians to pay their tithes in full. Toss Lord Patrician Creepto into the dungeon. The patricians should be exempt from paying tithes, or do nothing to address the problem. I mean, this isn't corruption. It's just, you know, it's part of the what I signed with Creepto. I can't throw him in prison for a little while. There is the do nothing 4.0 option. Council, you may vote as you will. Fox voting for the do nothing. But the council says the patricians are ordered to pay their tithes in full. Us pagans clearly respect the church. You're trying to curry favor with our new allies. By the ninth, how are we to bear the brunt of all this tithing and taxation? Left with scarcely enough money to keep my horses.
Defiance is now mutinous, some patricians' wealth has decreased. The patricians grumble, but the archbishop is grateful for your support. The church grows in the coast. And now, find a spouse. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your... thank you for the follow, Dar. What is your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? Should just get crabs to pay the tithes? True. Annie, thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the chiefs as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Right. Possible to make tithes illegal? We're working on it. We're working on it. Patricians, Patricians make 500 wealth selling snake oil that they claim cures scrofula. This is about our continued support. Yeah, but the treasury is super empty. What if I just neutral tax everybody? Patricians are rich. I mean, Creep2 is rich. Busy Being Leah is not rich. I'm the poorest man alive. Uh-huh. How screwed... No, I would have absolutely no money. I gotta have some money. I must make up for it by taxing the other two to hell. And... I don't think that would be wise, but what would that look like? Yeah, I think neutral everyone. I can't really afford to do tax breaks right now. Sorry. I'm poor as a commoner. Let's go to the Winter Feast. After weeks of leading your baggage train along perilous mountain roads, you finally arrive at the snow-swept clan hall of Chief Fox. The hall is crammed with all the chiefs of the north, sitting cheek to cheek along tables groaning under the weight of food and ale. Welcome, Your Majesty, to my humble hall. Take a seat, grab a drink. It is customary at Winter Feast to exchange gifts with the host. What did you bring? A champion war horse that won't break the bank. That symbol next to Defiance is like a quick reminder of the Patrician scheme. They want to lower their own Defiance, so the down arrow means like, hey, you want to decrease this. But a champion warhorse. Look at that beauty. Fine addition to my stables. Thank you, Your Majesty. After that, the feast lasts long into the night. The fires roar, the bards sing songs of the old days, and a lake of ale is consumed. A couple of hours in, you are extremely, extremely drunk. The chiefs appreciate how much you're getting into the spirit of things. They roar with laughter at your mumbled jokes. Someone claps you on the shoulder so hard your crown falls into your beer. As the Winter Feast draws on and the snow piles up outside the doors, the mood in the hall turns raucous. Your memory is blotchy, but you distinctly recall leading the entire hall in song. The chiefs roar alongside you, full-throated as you sing the stirring battle songs of the north, long into the night. When you wake the next morning, you find yourself sprawled out in the hall. Fox, who loves puppies, is sitting beside you, eating some bacon and eggs. You really got into the swing of things last night, Your Majesty. I can see you're still a chief at heart. To be honest, Your Majesty, you may have got too into the swing of things. Break it to me gently. You sang some songs that are very aggressive toward the other regions. The kind of songs that rhyme pillage with village. Word spreads quickly. Accusations of northern favoritism become a thorn in your side. I will never beat these allegations. You bid farewell to the chiefs and begin the long, perilous journey back to the capital. And bankruptcy looms. The treasury is almost empty, Your Highness. What do you suggest we do? Apart from raising taxes, we have precious few options. Could get a bank loan or sell off the crown jewels, or perhaps crack open some of your predecessors' tombs. Most were buried with piles of gold, or so I've heard.
Crabs? Yeah. Oh boy, I can just print more money.
Take a loan, or...
My authority is already kind of bad. Let me sell off some of the royal jewelry. You can raid the tombs, but only the pagans. Nah, sell off some of the royal jewelry. All I need is a brief cash infusion before my crab investment pays fruit. You auction off dozens of necklaces, 5 gold rings, and a jeweled scepter to the nobles. It is a humiliating affair. Selling off symbols of power makes you look weak and desperate. Oh, side chat broke? Really? Let me give it a kick. Is that better? Okay. It tends to break about 2 hours in. I don't know why. And I just have to give it a kick.
Ooh, look at this tiara. Fetching, isn't it? Don't mind if I do.
It gets tired. True.
Hey, check out this scepter. It's like I'm the monarch. Eligible options. I have found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance.
Yes, I know. They said I would be killed if I didn't. You can't prove anything. Sheesh. The Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall, where they're covered by 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Let's see the candidates. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Freda, firstborn heir of the Northern Darpage clan. From what I've heard, they know exactly what they want and will do whatever's necessary to get it. Even among the Northerners, they've made something of a name for themselves as a fearsome warrior. They were already engaged once, but it didn't last. No one's sure why. I can see the appeal, I suppose. From the coast, we have Clovia, the wealthy heiress to Lady Patrician Busy-Being Leah II's estate. She wasn't originally the heiress, but her elder sister had an unfortunate accident. She recently gave away half her fortune to the church, much to everyone's surprise. The common folk hate her for some reason, but who cares what they think? Could be worse, but could be a lot better. And finally, from the south, Tristano, the eldest son of the Silvarian lineage, famed for his wit, his style, and, as you can see, his good looks. He spends most of his time in the library, face buried in some book of ancient history. He's tried his hand at a number of ventures, though they all seem to end in disaster. He's got a great beard, but yeah, nerd. He has huge feet, and you know what huge feet means? Huge shoes, those would be so expensive. Don't like the look of him. What do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. Listen, North, you and me are tight, but the North's candidate is bald. The North's candidate is bald, and that's kind of a deal breaker for me. I mean, what could go wrong? She's leukemia, you a-hole. Oh no, anyway, North's candidate's butts, we forgive you. I've made my decision. Clovia of the Coast. Also, I would like the patricians to not rebel immediately. Excellent, I'll make the arrangements. As the season draws to a close, I do kind of like reverse voting. Let me do that instead of the monarch's vote. A token gesture, how thoughtful. It's not a token gesture, it's fine. Crab futures. Crab futures. Crab futures. No. I didn't sell. No. I was left holding the bag. Bad news, Your Majesty. A new reef has been discovered which is overflowing with millions of jeweled crabs. Crab prices are crashing catastrophically. Your own box of crabs is worth absolutely nothing. Suppose they could make for a tasty soup.
I paid 1,000 gold for these crabs. The entire kingdom is about to suffer financially, Your Majesty, especially the coast. Hundreds of fisheries and businesses will go bankrupt if we don't step in. Curiously, Lord Patrician's Creep-Too, the very same Patrician who first began the crab craze, recently sold all his crabs at a huge profit, just days before the crash.
Something must be done. You summon your council to discuss the crab crisis. Many nobles have invested heavily in the crab market. They are casting furious glances at the patricians' benches. I can't bail out businesses. Council, you may vote for whatever option is available to you. Sorry, Creep-Too. Our contract reached its end. Besides, justice must be done. There's clearly something wrong with this whole crab business. Only swindled the entire nation for a meager profit. Should have gone for bigger profits. Your soldiers storm Lord Patrician Creep-Too's opulent mansion, arresting him and confiscating his ill-gotten crab gold. The trial will be held as soon as possible. Leah, crab memes happened. I was not able to sell before the market crashed, and we have arrested Creep-Too. Also, I'm marrying the marriage candidate from the Patricians, who is from your family. Yeah, the treasury's looking pretty good. Outraged patricians protest that your actions are illegal and make a mockery of the law. Don't they know you're the monarch? The royal wedding. Your wedding to Clovia is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Clovia at your side. Angers Patricians marries one. This is fine. But what if I pull a comedy and change my mind? No. I do take this woman as my lawfully wedded wife. Then I pronounce you married in the eyes of the kingdom. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Clovia, refuses to dance at all, preferring instead to brood in the corner. By the time you find yourself alone with Clovia, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired.
Did you see the 8 crows perched on the church tower as we walked into the cathedral? A dire omen. Perhaps you're right. Peasants have the right idea. They get married for love, not for politics. Oh, to live the simple life of a commoner.
There. We're both in this together, Clovia. You comfort Clovia long into the night, listening as she expresses her doubts and fears. As dawn breaks, she falls asleep on your shoulder, exhausted. Why is this Patrician acting poor? Good question. Oh, I totally missed comet sighting. Nice. I poured myself a little whiskey during the last game, so fair enough, Dar. A blood-red comet was spotted in the night sky over the south, Your Majesty. The knaves are claiming it is a terrible omen. The common folk on the verge of panic. Is there anything I can do? Listen. We use the church when it suits our purposes. After a second round of oppression. No. It's not oppression. I'm dispensing justice. Tell the church to dispel such baseless I had a 95% chance! God damn it. The priests of the south preach that the comet is actually a good omen due to a new interpretation of an obscure cluster of stars. Unfortunately, the peasants don't believe a word of it. I straight up got Fire Emblemed. I got XCOM'd. Listen, I rolled faith to try to... Damn it. No one is a fan of this. For a few weeks, the South is gripped by panic. Riots break out in the streets.
Soothsayers wander the land, foretelling doom. Wild turkey? Oof. Any port in a storm, I suppose. Never been a fan myself. I have got some Stranahan's Diamond Peak Reserve. Something I bought for my birthday. I don't normally go for such expensive single malt, but damn, it's good. In the south, beneath a scorching sun, Grandee Silvarian strolls through his vineyard in the company of a few close friends. Our plans are going better than expected. The spymaster thinks that all is well in the kingdom, and while the cat's away, the mice shall play. Okay, good for the price, that's fair. Please don't dishonor me by comparing me to a mouse. Speak plainly or not at all. I apologize, my friend. Plain terms, then. Our next step is to replace the palace watch with our own agents. Yeah, happy belated birthday. We already control the honor guard. If we can buy the loyalty of the watch, we'll have complete control of the palace. For the next stage of their scheme, the Grandees must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. Good luck. A Bud Platinum. Fitting, I suppose. Anchored a few miles from the sunny coast, Lady Patrician Busy Being Leah II has invited her closest confidants aboard her yacht. The ninth god is not smiling upon us, friend. We failed to win the spymaster's trust. She still watches us with an eagle eye. How goes the search for the look-alike? Not well. I'm still looking. The best I've found is a peasant with the wrong-shaped nose, the wrong-colored eyes, and a wooden leg. Don't let that discourage you. Keep searching. Our doppelganger is out there, I'm sure of it. The patrician's aim is to lower the defiance to 4 or less. Nose bought it on credit. Patricians are on the verge of rebellion. This is fine. We have a request from the Archbishop. We have the good word. We have saint or sinner. Well, damn it. I was gonna give you a tax break. You know, after I probably executed you. What? Who said that? What's going on in the south? Saint or sinner? All I'm saying is every grandee claims to have a saint in his ancestry. Your great-great-grandfather was probably a common dullard. Shut your mouth, you hedge-born puzzle-wit. His name was Saint Umber, and he defeated the werewolf of Oranjar by turning it to dust in an instant. According to my grandmother. If you're so sure, how about a little wager? A bag of gold says your ancestor was no saint. You're on. Please don't break out into a duel. This event change sucks. Oh, I think I've seen it once, but it kind of ended a little early. Lady Patrician Busy Being Leah II is spreading damnable lies about my great-great-grandfather. If you really think he was a saint, then dig him up. Saints are incorruptible. Even after death, they don't decay. Very well. I request the council's permission to exhume my ancestor and prove this fool wrong. We can grant permission, we can say no, dead people should stay underground, or ask the Archbishop to check church records. I'm honestly not sure what I want here. As I'm in prison, am I even allowed to vote? That's a good question. Realistically, you shouldn't be able to. I'm gonna nuke the dirty centrist option in a swerve for me. Either we dig up dead people or we don't dig up dead people. Council, what say you? Slip a ballot through the bars, right? It is completely unanimous. Everyone says, dig up that body. Ninth, bless you, your holiness. Now where's my shovel? A few days later, the corpse of Silvarian's great-great-grandfather is exhumed from its resting place in the southern necropolis. Praise the ninth. I was right. Centuries in the ground, but old St. Umber looks fresh as a daisy. Wow, it really is a miracle. Fine, take your money. Word quickly... Oh no, Leah's bankrupt. Word quickly spreads of the miracle of St. Umber. Peasants across the south add another name to their prayers.
You see, I healed the wounded faith of the South. I respect your ninth god traditions or whatever, says Northern King. Anyway, the Archbishop has a request for us. Your Majesty, I wish to speak to you about the situation in the north. Too long have the Northerners been allowed to worship their heathen tree gods in brazen defiance of the ninth god. Allow me to send some of my best missionaries to the north. It's for the good of the realm. I'll have to bring it to the council. Of course, Your Majesty. I would expect nothing less. So we can send missionaries or deny the request for a mission. You know, I'm not saying vote to keep the church out of the north, but you'll get paid if you say so. Call the Archbishop a wambulance. Exactly. Silvar turning down free money. Never thought I'd see the day. Everyone else loves money. Alas, Archbishop, they say no. More converts, more tides. Very well, if this is the will of the council, then so be it. I'm glad that the council respects our sovereignty enough to leave us to our own business. My thanks. And then the good word.
Greetings, Storm. I've had an idea. As you know, the people of the coast are quite pious. As a member of the royal household and an avid adherent of the church itself, I thought I might go back to my homeland for a time and take the opportunity to preach in your favor.
You mean make me some kind of saint?
Not exactly, I mean unless they really start to like you, but support from the church can't be a bad thing, can it?
Go forth and teach them to love me, wife.
Marvelous, I'll make the preparations immediately.
No. It's fine. This will make her happy. This will make her happy. Word spreads fast that the Queen Consort is planning a tour of the coast. Thousands flock to the towns and villages where she plans to stop. Unfortunately, they're mostly flocking to throw vegetables. The popularity of the church in the coast clearly didn't amount to as much as Clovia had hoped. Oh. It's not long before she calls off the tour to return home, her tail tucked between her legs. Well, you tried, babe. You tried. Deep in the back rooms of the royal palace, the northern chiefs are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. On the wall is a corkboard filled with pins and crisscrossed by colored string. The monarch didn't marry Frida, but at least they married someone. Now they just need to get on with finding an heir.
Aye, the clock is ticking, the kingdom is stable, and the grandees have been suspiciously helpful in that regard. Convinced they're trying to make us focus on the patricians while they plot behind our backs.
Pepe Sylvia, yeah. And we've got to keep up our efforts. Monarch Storm isn't going anywhere on our watch. The chiefs must continue to aid the monarch by countering the other region's schemes. They will win the game if the monarch produces an heir and completes their ambitions. Which I have had, like, no opportunity to boost trade yet. Anyway, it's auction time. Spend your hard-earned cash. You still got shooters out here. As a poor man, I shall not fund anything. Uh-huh. So far, early funding goes to the Thieves Guild and the Aqueduct. Oh, but the observatory getting a bit of a push. Still plenty of time. Oh, Aqueduct shooting back up. Fierce bidding going on. As the wealth of the kingdom flows freely into these construction projects. Big push for the Thieves Guild. Probably they got it locked in. Unless someone were to come in last minute. No opportunity to boost trade. Very disappointing. And it seems that they have it. Thieves' Guild and the Aqueduct shall be built. So still of influence, right? Patricians are on the verge of rebellion, but it's fine. There was increased trade. God damn it. Oh, about my heir. About my heir. Your marriage to Clovia has grown strong and steady, like an old castle wall. Though it began as a political arrangement, it's blossomed into something like love. It's high time you thought about an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. My wife and I will have a child together. Ah, the traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. Hell yeah. Bangin' month. What's going on in the south? Incorruptible. Your Holiness, the incorruptible corpse of Saint Umber has become a sensation among the faithful. Everyday pilgrims visit my manor to pray at his feet. He needs a month? Don't worry about it. But their muddy feet are ruining my carpets. May I take St. Umber's body on a tour of the kingdom instead?
Your Majesty, if I may make a suggestion, perhaps we should study this phenomenon instead of mindlessly worshipping it?
Paternity leave. Heresy! Everyone cover your ears before she says anything more! Have the saint examined, forbid the tour, but allow the private display to continue. Ooh, trade. Order the saint's body reburied. You all like money, right? Trade up for real, yep. Vote C for free money. Excellent. Everyone loves money. I love the golden choice so much. I love democracy. Forbid the tour, but allow the private display of St. Umber to continue. As you insist, Your Majesty, my poor carpets.
Maybe I'll come visit your little shrine one of these days. Should be good for a laugh.
Milo's gonna tour you. Money? Me? What tour? You're very welcome to visit. At least your shoes are clean. Who knows, maybe St. Umber will guide you back to the light of the ninth. Grandia Silvarian continues to display the saint's body, charging a small fee to compensate for the damage to his carpets. The sacred corpse attracts crowds from across the kingdom. Some even bring coin to spend. Silvar gets wealthier, and trade is now monopoly in the south. Good God. South is so rich. Speaking of riches, it's time to enact justice. After months of delay, Lord Patrician Creepdew is finally due to stand trial for his crab-related market manipulation. You stand accused of perpetrating fraud and tricking hundreds into buying expensive crabs. How do you plead? I am guilty only of making money, so I broke a few laws along the way. Is that a crime? Yes, obviously. I pronounce you guilty as charged, and your fate will be decided by the monarch. I can pardon, I can imprison, or I can hang the scoundrel. You know what? We're all about trade here. There's gonna be a few missteps along our grand economic experiment. We pardon the offender, but Creepdew, next time you give me a warning before you crash the market. Understand? The other regions, predictably, are outraged by your leniency. Lord Patrician Creepdew chuckles and throws you a wink as he is freed from his shackles. Of course you treat the patricians with a lighter touch. If it were a northerner in the dock, they'd already have a noose around their neck. Who helps Creepdew and not me? I haven't had a chance to help you yet, I think. Anyway, end of the season. Meanwhile, in the south, Grandy Silvarin has invited his closest associates to the manor house for some wine and cheese and treason. Palace Watch won't accept our bribes. The treasury's practically overflowing. They don't need our money. Consistently corrupt. And I suppose they ran straight to the spy master to spoil the plot, too. Most unfortunate. Is this the end? Even St. Jovine waited 60 days and 60 nights before she smote the blasphemer king. We will bide our time and strike again when the monarch least expects it. The grandee's goal is to lower the treasury to 1,500 or less. Who's ready for tax breaks? I'm very poor due to legal fees. Yeah, you're so poor, Creep 2. So poor. Chiefs, we need to keep a little money in there. So small tax. Small tax. That's all. Everybody else, tax break. My bribery to you. Yeah, I ended up making money after I, imprisoned you. Wow, okay, the South gets all the events this time. What the hell? Don't want to bribe patricians. Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm an idiot. A band of peasants have staged an uprising in the south, your holiness. In the dead of night, they stormed the castle of my good friend Grandee Jack 6975. They and their family are he and his family is currently languishing in his own dungeons. What caused the peasants to rebel? Oh, the usual complaints. The peasants accuse Jack of being too strict in enforcing the Ninth God's doctrine, as if such a thing were possible. How were the peasants able to take the castle? Doing RP. It's kind of more fun that way, just roll with the chaos. They bribed some of the guards. They also seem to have brand new, well-forged weapons. Pikes and swords, mostly. I have no idea where they found the money. What are the peasants' demands? They want Jack to be stripped of his assets with his lands divided among the peasantry. In return, the rabble will free him and spare his life. We can send an army. We can cave to dirty, unwashed peasants. Or we can pretend to accept their demands, then kill them when they leave the castle. Gang. C is real good. C is real good. We are not giving the peasants what they want. I would vote C. C looks amazing. That's so good. Few more seconds to get your votes in. But we all like cutting down peasants with vile treachery. We choose treachery. It's more fun, as they say. Oh dear, it's terribly bad form to deceive people like this. Overriding their objections, you send the Chancellor to assure the peasants to give them everything they've asked for and more. Free ponies! Why not? The gullible fools release Grandee Jack 6975 and his family from the dungeon. When the peasants leave the castle themselves to receive their reward, they are unceremoniously butchered by your waiting soldiers. Outrage sweeps over the common folk. Are the monarch's promises worth nothing? The grandees, on the other hand, are pleased with the outcome, though there's still the matter of where these peasants got the money to bribe the guards. Mark, what? Steve's fault. But there's also Moida in the south. Your Majesty, Lady Patrician Bizabinglia II has disappeared without trace. No! She was last seen on a horse headed to Grandee Silvarian's estate. It wasn't me, I swear! Lady Patrician Bizabinglia II came to visit St. Umber, but the saint's eyes lit up with holy fire. The next thing I knew, she was reduced to dust and bones. Bizabinglia II just died. Bizabinglia III has joined the council. A likely story. I demand the council arrest Grandee Silvarian for the murder of my mother. Leah's not having good luck tonight. We can imprison Silvar. We can rebury the saint and put something heavy on the grave. We can ask Silvar to prove claims or Saint Umber to the university for examination. There are a lot of good options here. Do I want to do a bribe? Yeah, A and B is kind of where I'm thinking too. You know what? Maybe it's time for someone else to have a bad day. Hey everyone, you'll get money if we throw Silvar in prison. Commander Jack, always a a prudent man. No, I did nothing wrong. The Palace Watch hoist up Grandee Silvarian by his armpits and drag him away. Riots break out in the south. Grandee Silvarian was popular amongst the common folk. Bah, let the peasants riot all they like. Thank you for ensuring justice was done. Grandee Silvarian has been imprisoned. Silvarian II has joined the council. Oh. So by imprison, the game meant disappear Silvar. Oh. Yeah, he dead. What other fun is going on in the south? Your Majesty, I bring bad news from our newly constructed prison in the south. One of the prisoners, a murderous rogue by the name of Mousejack Carnival, has escaped. His location is currently... The double doors bang open. A grubby-looking peasant strides into the council hall, escorted by an anxious watchman. Thank you for the bit, Silvar. It was for the comedy. In this room?
Sorry, Your Majesty. He said it was urgent. He was pretty persuasive.
Your Majesty, I swear I am innocent. Grandee Jack 6975 threw me in prison on trumped-up charges simply because I said I didn't like his hat. Your Holiness, I have no idea what this fool is talking about. We can throw the foolish peasant back in prison. We could imprison Jack. We could ask the spy master to investigate further, or free both of them. So I might do reverse voting, just to... No, I think I'll just allow a straight vote. Council, what do you think we should do? Spirit is called Mousejack, we definitely trust him. Silvar's like, I need company in prison. I did not think this was where the council was gonna land, I'm not gonna lie. Wait, Jack, you voted yourself into prison? What? Wait, what? I'm confused. What? This is a rather ignominious end for a war hero of the rebellion. Maybe they'll have better hats in prison, eh?
Say another bad word about my hat! One more word, knave, I dare you!
It takes 7 watchmen to restrain Jack as he is dragged down to my dungeons. I paid to tank trade. Yeah. Well, the common folks celebrate Mousejack Carnival's exoneration. It's also taken as a sign that the monarch's justice is flawed. Grandee Jack 6975 has been imprisoned. Jack 6975 II has joined the council. Authority drops, stability rises. Trust the plan. Yeah, the plan that we definitely have. Anyway, that's the end of the season. You said you had a surprise for me?
Indeed, and here it is, behold! Your Majesty, what are you doing here at such an hour? I'm sorry, I hope you didn't overhear any... Quit babbling, you blowhard. This isn't the monarch, it's a peasant. Who's the monarch's spitting image? Yeah, I shouldn't have bribed the coast. I messed up. By the 9th, and just in time. Spymaster trusts us, and we can move on to the next phase. Kidnapping the monarch and putting this fool in their place. How do we manage that? We need the kingdom in utter chaos. Bad enough that the monarch's abduction can slip past unnoticed. For the next stage of their scheme, the patricians must lower stability to 4 or less in 2 seasons. Oh no, it's already there. I think I'm good. Stability might be good, actually. Stability might be good. Let me take call for unity in place of reverse voting. The conspiracy revealed. A petitioner from afar. We get Pirate Lady again. I'll save that for last. What's putting on a show? Your esteemed highness, I have the most wonderful solution to all that excess gold cluttering your treasury. We should put on a mock sea battle in the coastal arena. For too long we put up with gladiators fighting to the death on dry land. Boring. That sounds expensive. That's the point. It would be the event of the century. We waterproof the arena and fill it with seawater. Then we crew a few custom-built ships and have our most expendable gladiators, and have them duke it out before a screaming crowd. Oh god, yeah, that would beggar us. As a cheaper alternative, hold the event at sea, or forbid the arena from experimenting with naval combat. Yeah, money if we don't do naval combat. Yeah, we gotta make cuts here. Silvar, just cause I threw your predecessor in prison, and he mysteriously disappeared, definitely not gnawed to death by rats, it doesn't mean you have to vote for my I see you, Grandees, I see you. But everyone else likes money. So we forbid it. Oh, depths below. It would have been such a marvelous event, too. That's really great. God damn it. Conspiracy revealed. Oh, right. The thing going on in the south. Your Highness, we discovered another shipment of weapons and money on its way to a different group of would-be revolutionaries in the south. The Patricians are funding rebellious peasants on our lands. Lies and slander, Your Serene Highness. We found a receipt proving that the weapon shipment was coming from the coast. Who else could be behind this? We can have the patricians pay a fine. We can arrest a few prominent patricians and interrogate them. Fund a massive, far-reaching investigation, or we can't prove anything, let the matter lie. Oh boy, so many bad options. We can't afford the investigation. Council, vote for any of the other bad options. Do nothing 5.0 looms. Oh, the chief's staying out of things for now. Oh. Okay, so I do get a choice after all then. Voting tied at 2. Can either pay a fine or arrest and interrogate. I think I like the fine a little better. I think I like the fine a little better. You order the patricians to collectively pay a hefty tribute.
The grandees are satisfied, although Lord Patrician creeped you maintains there is no real evidence and continues to accuse you of tyranny. And we have a petitioner from afar. Your Majesty, there is a petitioner here to see you today. We're not exactly sure where she's from. What does she want? You'll see soon enough, Your Majesty.
Greetings, Your Majesty. My name is Orid. I have a proposition for you.
Tell me more about this.
3 ships are docked into a harbor to the west. Their holds are packed to the gills with muskets and gunpowder. They each boast a full battery of cannons. They are all yours in return for a small favor.
What is this favor?
I only wish to stay in this kingdom with your blessing and protection. Can show your soldiers how to use the weapons, of course, to avoid any accidents.
Alright, what did you do?
I don't know what you mean, Your Majesty. I simply wish to keep my dealings private. You'll forgive me, I hope.
We can give safe harbor, reject the offer and send her away, or confiscate and take her prisoner. I feel like I got a call for unity here. I feel like the council is going to break a particular way on this. Yeah, please don't see. C drops stability. And helps the patricians. You guys are close to winning, Leah. I got it. Creep 2, my old business buddy. We provide safe harbor in exchange for muskets. Orid and her weapons prove most useful in the coming months. She and her crew train your officers, as promised. Everyone gets military. The North's military is now unbeatable. Oh my god. Orid demonstrates by puncturing a metal breastplate at 500 yards. The council clearly made the right decision. Unbeatable northern military. You love to see it. Alright, 4 or less by next season. So we gotta raise stability or the... Oof. Nobody rebelling. Private exchange. Your heir! Your heir. I get an heir. Surely this will raise stability, right? Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council, holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council hall is filled with nervous silence. My darling son. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the kingdom.
Your esteemed highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your son. What is his name?
Storm the Second.
Marvelous, your august majesty. I'm sure little Storm the Second will grow up to be a chip off the old block.
Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spy Master soon. Vikings cheering in the delivery room. Hell yeah. What is this private exchange? The Kurth captain that you allowed to stay in the capital, the one who traded those weapons. She has been the cause of some concern. Nobles have complained that she has been rude and confrontational. She does not know royal etiquette after all. Worse, some suspect her of being a Kurth spy. Very well, I will have a word. You find Orid pacing the halls, far from her assigned chambers. Trade is very no. Yeah, grandees are hard carrying the economy. And so many other things. Good god, the grandees are OP at this point. Can I help?
Kurth bounty hunters landed in the coast not long ago.
I see where you're going with this.
Exactly, they're looking for me. Did not expect them to come here. Clearly I was wrong.
Tell me what you did and I might help you.
My crime was a crime of thought. I dared to disagree with the other senators on a matter of great import.
That was it? There was nothing else? With unbalanced teams, they do some kind of, like, there is some kind of voting balancing act that the game does on the back end. I'm not sure exactly how it works, Star. It might give, like, more events to an underpowered team to help them or something. I'm not sure.
Well, those thoughts may have led to other crimes, but I never killed any innocents. I only shed blood when absolutely necessary. It's a long story.
What if I'm like, you should go? Or I could remove the hunters and ban others. Makes it easier for the monarch to favor the weaker team. Yeah. True. What about you should go? I've kept Orid around a lot of times. I want to see what happens when we kick her out. Thanks for your guns, but you gotta go.
As you say, do not have anyone follow me.
Before you can share any more words, she has turned heel. Sure enough, before the day is out, your spymaster reports that Orid has vanished. Okay. Thanks for the guns, and bye. A bizarre report.
Your Majesty, I've received worrying reports. Worrying and confusing.
Let me help you out. What's wrong?
I've received reports from one of my little birdies in Lady Patrician Busy-Being Leo III's villa. She is a most unusual guest.
Oh no, is this some kind of parasite thing?
No. It's you, Your Majesty, or someone who looks just like you. I have no reason to suspect the Patricians of plotting anything, and yet I can't square this away. Fortunately, our kingdom is quite stable. If they try to spring any surprises on us, I should hear about it early. Nevertheless, it's still worth calling a meeting of the council to try to do something to put a stop to this.
Very well, assemble them at once. We can triple the security, conduct a thorough search of coastal villas to delay scheme for one season, or do nothing. 1,500 less. Hey everyone! You like money, right? Triple the security. Your monarch and the new heir must be protected. Actually, I probably... maybe should have memed for Call for Unity there. You're right, love money. Yeah, how much money do you have now, Creep 2? Oh my god. 4,100, that's so much. The ranks of your palace watch are swollen with new men, and a strict curfew is set up within a 2-mile radius of the palace. Treasury drops. I can tell by hovering over the little down arrow. So the grandees want to lower the treasury to 1,500 or less, so we are just barely okay. Stability is now civil. Authority is now dubious. It should help keep you safe, but the nobles think it's a display of weakness. There are rumors that you're slipping into paranoia. It's not being paranoid if everyone's trying to kill me! Oh. Does it now? Oh, maybe for the... maybe for those in chat. Anyway, we end the season. Somewhere along the coast, Lady Patrician Busy-Being Leo III strolls in her olive grove, accompanied by a close friend. On viewer end, okay. The kingdom's not exactly peaceful, but there's still no way we could stage the abduction of the monarch without being noticed. We need chaos! The Patrician's aim is to lower stability to 4 or less. Get thwarted, get thwarted, get thwarted. And now, with everyone having a terrifying amount of money, it's time to begin the auction. Chiefs, there is a grand bazaar which would increase trade. That's option A. Where is this viewer? Grand bazaar and the stadium, the prison, and the Grand Bazaar leading the bidding so far. Strong showing for the Grand Bazaar. Oh, the stadium. Lowering the military. Interesting. What is your game with this silver? That's a down arrow. You just pulled a fox. Oh, the aqueduct. Springing in to give more farming. But wouldn't it be funny if we just funded the stadium last minute? But bidding closes, and the buildings funded are the Grand Bazaar and the Aqueduct, generously funded by Fox and Jack. Primarily funded. Almost entirely funded in Jack's case. Damn. I thought you had some, like, 5D chess thing going on, Silvar. But before we see more, I need to, things are going so well in the kingdom that I must have a piss about it. And, run some ads to kill pre-rolls for any randos coming in. So, I'll be back in just a few. You won't be missing anything. Hope you'll stick with me to see the fate of this glorious kingdom to its end. Okay, I return. I'm gonna wait until ads fully finish to go back into reading events. Yeah, I suppose randos coming in would not fully know my lore about Isabeau. where my deep abiding passion to kiss the boy at endgame was what got me through the intense emotional damage of that game. In Stars in Time, really good. Oh, sorry. Poor choice of words, poor choice of words. I have almost emptied my whiskey glass. Sorry. Oh, I never even checked. What is the bet? Oh, we only had one person bet on the outcome in Gamba. I'll just return the points at this point. Also, I think it would have broken a little bit. It was you, yes. And we're a little too far in to, like, restart the Gamba. So, oh well. Alright, we ought to be out of ads. And I was just commenting that, yeah, I imagine people just coming in don't know. That character Isabeau is from In Stars in Time, as Silvar said. And he, like, immediately I was like, ooh, I like this guy. I want to give him a kiss. And that was what got me through all the emotional damage of that game. Because that game will punch you in the gut repeatedly, and it's wonderful. I highly recommend. It's really good. Okay, we have the North being low on lumber. Well, that's no good. What can we do about this situation? Welcome, Arthur. The one frame of that character I've seen. Yeah, that image comes up like that event happens really early in the game. You're like sharing a bed with him, and I'm like, oh, I'm so in. I'm so in.
Your August Majesty, will you tell these superstitious chiefs to get over themselves and let us harvest their trees? We need the wood for our crafts people.
I've told you 1,000 times, Lord Patrician, that forest is thoroughly haunted. You'll damn us all if you go logging there.
But you sold us a logging contract, and said contract has no exclusions for haunting. Your August Majesty, the chiefs can't be allowed to wiggle out of their commitments. Have a contract to make a logging, let them harvest the lumber, or fence the area off. Ooh, hunting reserve is interesting.
Boy, that's a lot of bad Gamba options. I do not want to be haunted.
But what I would like to do is bribe everyone to not Gamba.
Because I've had this event chain before in a previous game of this. It went very, very, very badly for me, as I recall, because I got haunted.
Yes. Join in the wealth of legal bribery, everyone.
Yeah. Obviously, please don't spoil. That's the one thing that I think would be the weakness of this game, because I've already seen some, like, repeat chains, and I've only played 5 games of this? 6? Something like that.
A hunting reserve! That's not what we asked for! We need lumber, you fools!
The Monarch Storm Friendship Reserve doesn't really get off the ground, as the chiefs avoid it out of fear and habit. The Friendship Reserve? Really, me? Still, it at least keeps the patricians from hacking it down. A good compromise makes everyone pissed. What about my ambition?
At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be the architect of a new golden age. But so far, you've not convinced anyone. The kingdom's trade is still lackluster, Your Majesty. Golden age? More like bronze, or maybe copper? Your current ambition isn't working out for you. If you want to stop the nobles from overthrowing you, you need to pivot, change your image.
Maybe if I had gotten literally any option to change trade at all.
Your other advisors have some ideas. We should crush these disloyal nobles, smash their armies, and force them to submit.
Your Majesty, if you help us spread the zeal of the Ninth God, the Church will lend our full support. With the backing of the Church, the nobles wouldn't dare move against you. The common folk are a sleeping giant that even the nobles are afraid to wake. If you become beloved by the peasants, the nobles won't dare overthrow you for fear of revolution.
Here's another idea. Declare war on the Ashmedian Empire. The nobles will forget their schemes if you win. Beloved by the common folk, authority and faith, farming and military? Our farming is not the greatest. Authority is bad.
Maybe we do a nice war? We just do a nice war? We do have an unbeatable military on our side.
Yeah. Let's declare war on the Empire. Wise decision, Your Majesty. I've already taken the liberty of contacting the ambassador.
Greetings, Your Grace. I am here to discuss the terms of our upcoming war. Negotiating the Empire's surrender, I hope?
No. The Ashmedian Empire is far larger than your kingdom. Didn't you wonder why we never squashed you like a bug? It's because we're divided by internal conflicts. It may seem that the Empire is ruled by its emperor. In reality, Ashmead is ruled by its generals, who battle endlessly for control of the capital.
So... why are you here?
I am here representing General Telecanth, whose lands are safely distant from the border. If you are to invade, all we ask is that you send us your signal. We'll launch a civil war, taking advantage of the chaos to bump off some of our own rivals.
A bold plan.
I will leave you to think on my words. If we take advantage of the Empire's internal divisions, we may actually have a chance. If you beat our oldest enemy, that would shut the nobles up for good. But winning still won't be easy. Your priority is to raise the kingdom's overall farming and military as much as you can. And of course, there can't be open rebellion among the nobles.
Right. The Bounty Hunters. Your Majesty, these good folk are bounty hunters representing the Republic of Kurth. Monarch Storm, we greet you humbly. How may I help you? We are searching for a fugitive. Last we heard, she went by the name Orid. She came through here, yes. Will you help us apprehend her, Your Majesty? There is no doubt she is still in your kingdom. Ooh, we can assist the bounty hunters or don't get involved and let them be on their way. South needs a 10 in military. I feel like do not assist here, because I can achieve comedy. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Fox and Dark. Council, vote however you want. God, veto is so powerful. I love democracy. With unanimous approval from the council, every voting member says, don't get involved. Let them be on their way. You politely decline, and the bounty hunters leave with their heads bowed. Hopefully that's the last you hear of this Kurth kerfluffle. Why did I have to spend money to help them? Hated that. Tax time. Just skirmish with ice giants. The chiefs loot 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Boy. Yeah. Chiefs, I think I'm gonna need more money to play with. No, neutral tax on all. Neutral tax on all. I can't afford to give any stimuluses. Now, Brad Patricians? Could I counterbalance it out by, like... I would have to harsh tax both of the others to not immediately give the grandees a dub there. Yes, people can join mid-game. Yeah, I think I just got a neutral tax, everybody. We're gonna need funds for war. Can't afford to give out any bennies. Ambition Conquest. For the last few months, your marshal has been crisscrossing the kingdom, drumming up troops in preparations for your first strike against the Ashmedian Empire. Today, at last, she's returned, and she's brought one of the patricians with her. Your Majesty, the nobles are proving reluctant to commit their soldiers to your cause. They've sent a delegation to speak with you. Your esteemed highness, of course we all support a war with the accursed dogs of Ashmead. Of course we do. We're more patriotic than anyone. But we're concerned about the harvest. Your marshal is telling us to raise all our able-bodied levies. If we do that, who's going to gather the crops? The kingdom could starve. Tell the peasants to eat something else? Cake, maybe? The peasants will have to tighten their belts. Without a proper harvest, it won't be just the peasants who suffer. Just damned cowardice, if you ask me, Your Majesty, but all the nobles are echoing this nonsense. The fools are worried about going hungry for a few years. Till we can persuade them the kingdom will survive, they won't commit their full forces to our banner. Assure Lord Patrician Arthur Figgis that the kingdom can survive a few bad harvests. By the 9th, Your August Majesty, you're right! The kingdom can survive a few hungry winters if it means teaching those Ashmedian bastards a lesson. That's the spirit. I trust we have the backing of the patricians in starting this war, then. Indeed, Your Esteemed Highness. Let's do this. One by one, your marshal approaches the nobles of your council, seeking their approval for the launch of a war against Ashmead. Yeah, I don't know what I even did. I was like, hey, I know you don't want to starve, but trust me. And he's like, damn, you're right. Too poor to commit any funds or troops to the war. Yes, Creep 2, we all know. The grandees will welcome the chance to teach those godless Ashmedian heathens a thing or two about the wrath of the ninth god.
Aye, your highness, the chiefs never back down from a fight. You have our axes. The nobles are united behind the idea of a war on Ashmead, your majesty.
Huzzah! Let's go to war!
I like the enthusiasm, but it's been a long time since the kingdom mobilized so much of its army. We need to ensure they're up to the task. I'll assemble the troops at once. Farewell, your majesty.
When your marshal returns to the capital a month later, she is at the head of an army. The soldiers set up camp outside the city walls, their armor gleaming crimson in the light of dawn. Inspect my troops. Fire emblemed. From afar it was impressive, up close it's not a pretty sight. I don't know how I fail a troop inspection. 80% chance.
Attention, line up for the monarch.
You ride your horse up and down the line, a pit opening in your stomach. Is this all the troops you have? There are less than 10,000 here! To make matters worse, they're not exactly elite units. Some soldiers are leaning on their halberds, fast asleep. Others are wearing their armor backwards. One is trying to pick his nose with his sword. Yeah, it's the only thing we're good at. What the hell happened to my army?
I can only apologize, your majesty. The army is in a sorry state.
We need more men.
You're right, your majesty. We need to spend some time whipping our soldiers in this shape before we can hope to defeat the Ashmedians.
Yeah, exactly, Silvar. Kingdom's military as much as possible. This challenge will decrease in difficulty with each failed attempt. Okay. Ugh. Oh, a spot of heresy. Heresy in the north? Your Highness, I'm stunned, outraged, and incensed. Been summoned to trial by the Inquisition on some nonsense, fabricated charge. They say a group of church missionaries went missing near my lands. Weather's cold around there. Anything could have happened to them. Alternative thinking. No one dares defend me on their own. They're too scared of the High Inquisitor. The trial is set, but the Council must intervene, Your Highness. Though she remains silent, the Council is keenly aware of the High Inquisitor's steely gaze from across the chamber. Oh. This is so bad. So many of these are bad. Do I bribe? Money, please. I don't know if I want to waste the money option on this, but I don't think I have any more events, so this might be fine. Search for a witness. That's my money option. Not gonna help the Inquisition. Hell no. Money, please. You see, I can't afford to give, like, tax breaks, but mysteriously I can magic some money out of nowhere to get you all to, encourage you all to vote for the thing that I think is best. I'm probably gonna get XCOM'd here, though. You distribute a proclamation among the chiefs asking for witnesses of Darpaj's innocence. But from fear of church reprisal and distrust of the crown, no one comes forward. During the trial, Darpaj crumbles and can barely argue for his own innocence. Unsmiling, the High Inquisitor orders him taken away and thrown in the Inquisition's special dungeons. Chief Darpaj has been imprisoned and disappeared. Darpaj II has joined the council. Lower middle class. I'm so happy for you, Creep 2. Truly. Where's... Oh. Chasing a fugitive. Your Majesty, I heard you spoke to a group of foreign bounty hunters recently. They turned up here looking for a fugitive of some kind, yes? Well, they found her.
No, why are both of these lower trade?
That sounds like good news. It caused quite a ruckus, burned down a whole tavern, something to do with this soap called gunpowder. Now the bounty hunters and the refugee ship captain are sitting in my dungeons. So hoping you might take them off my hands. You can release the hunters, transfer all the prisoners to the monarch's dungeon, or release them all and make them go their separate ways. I don't know, call for unity. I can't do money again. Or, oh, you mean C, maybe? Yeah. It's weird how releasing them and telling them just to get lost gives the crown money. I don't pretend to understand that. Few seconds left to vote. Have people been falling asleep on me? Totally fair if so. It grows ever later. Alright. We release the hunters and allow them to take Orid. Grandi Silvarian II releases the prisoners, transferring Orid to the bounty hunter's custody. As you hear it, the relieved Kurth hunters promise to thank you personally. Okay. Why didn't I get stability from that? That was more than 50%, wasn't it? God damn it.
The kingdom's on the brink of chaos. It's perfect. We have to strike. What do you intend us to do? Swoop in and kidnap the monarch in full view of the honor guard and the palace watch? No, of course not. We need to use the chaos to our advantage. We have two options.
Oh, like a... Okay. That's fair. So you can either raise your own defiance by luring the monarch to the coast, or manufacture a food crisis and kidnap the monarch during the relief efforts. Lower own farming. Both things you are already kind of doing. Patricians, you can never count them out in this stream. You can never count them out. So all of a sudden I'm gonna have to tax break, which is gonna advance the Grandee's scheme, and... Oh, we're so cooked!
We need to convince the monarch that the coast is on the verge of rebellion. The current climate, they'll be forced to make a diplomatic visit to smooth things over. That's when we strike. One monarch enters the peace tent, another monarch leaves.
For the final stage of their scheme, the patricians must raise their defiance to at least 10, but without starting a rebellion. I can stop the count. That's really funny, but there's enough of chat delay already, I think. Yeah, raising it to 10, that's... Wow. Alright, rebellion report. Eaten by... Ah, fuck. What's Kurth's gratitude, first and foremost? Your Majesty, good to see you again. I wish to thank you for clemency when your vassal, Grandi Silvarian II, apprehended us. Handing Orid over was most wise of you. As a token of Kurth goodwill, we'd like to share a portion of the reward. I'll take that money, absolutely, dear God. You respectfully accept the gold, as well as the thanks of the Republic of Kurth. The bounty hunters bid you farewell, wishing you long life and good health. A sacrificed priest? Oh no! Anyway. Your Majesty, I bring grave news. A missionary went up north to bring the true faith to those pagans. But last week he was found dead on the outskirts of a remote village. May he rest in peace. Got lost in the snow? No, your Majesty. Sacrificed in a devilish ritual to one of their awful pagan gods. Was found draped across a stone altar with antlers embedded in his head. We also sacrifice priests in the coast. I'm not saying you can't. I mean... We must send an inquisitor to the village and root out the killers. Order the chiefs to bring the murderers to justice. Send an entire team of inquisitors and a squad of soldiers. Send a lone inquisitor to investigate the missionary's death. I don't know if I have a strong preference here. I'll do a call for unity and see if that works out. Council, vote as you will. Oh yeah, sorry, you'll have to vote again, those of you who already typed. Yeah. Because I took a minute to think about it. I see you, Fox. I appreciate the commitment to the bit. We're not sending a squad of soldiers. We need our military, so we'll be sending a lone inquisitor. He might get lost in the snow. I will send... Oh, wait, this is the High Inquisitor. I will send my best man, your majesty. Hell yeah, smoke the stink bud. The High Inquisitor's best man, unfortunately, isn't good enough. He travels up to the remote village and a few weeks later is found sacrificed in the village outskirts, draped over the same stone altar. Authority is now mocked, faith is now heathen. The North won't be converting to the worship of the Night God anytime soon. Okay, and eaten by a tree. Oh god. Your August Majesty, Lord Patrician Arthur Figgis has gone missing in the Monarch Storm Friendship Reserve. His servants say he was eaten by a tree. Arthur Figgis has died. Arthur Figgis II has joined the council. I warned you, didn't I? Those trees are clearly possessed by evil spirits of the primordial north. Served with friendship in the name, right? Looks like Chief Darpaj II was right after all. Your Serene Highness, please, we need to burn this stupid grove to the ground before more people go missing. You won't get anywhere near it if you know what's good for you. Army of loggers to chop it down, set fire to the forest, or close the reserve for good. So many of these are bad. So many of these are bad. I don't want to lower stability. You can vote for the other options. I'm really worried about the trade gamba, too. A lot of division amongst the council on this vote. I'm not gonna like being asked to break the tie. I'll keep it open for a second longer if anyone wants to get in any last minute vote and save me from my indecision. Very well. Voting tied at 3, the crown must decide. Do we gamba on chopping it down or close the reserve? Yeah, I'm just worried the gamba's gonna go wrong and something really bad is gonna happen. God, I'm gonna regret this. Muster an army of loggers. You can't just chop our trees down. This is all your fault to begin with, Creep 2. We can and will. Time to avenge Lord Patrician Arthur Figgis. Meanwhile, posters and flyers are put up all across the kingdom. Free magical lumber! Claim your complimentary wood axe for your local constabulary. Lifelessness not guaranteed. Hordes of lumberjacks, trade barons, timber barons, tree fellas, and general axe-wielding nature haters descend on much to the misfortune of the ancient tree grove. Wow, we won the 40%. Admittedly, the trees put up more of a fight than most. Dozens of would-be entrepreneurs end their lives in a pool of bone-dissolving sap. But it's not enough. The rules of acquisition tell us, the riskier the road, the greater the profit. Well done, kingdom. A few months later, the grove is no more. Whatever ancient secrets it held are lost to time, and the lumber is shipped across the kingdom. The archbishop claims it as a religious victory over the remaining abominations of the cursed age. Yeah, sure, whatever, Archbishop. Okay, that's the end of the season. The chiefs are gathered in the empty council hall late at night. A new report from one of their spies has just come in.
By Grahala's beard! The patricians have a doppelganger holed up on the coast. Perfect replica of the monarch. They're going to try and swap them.
A doppelganger? Come now, that's outlandish, even for them.
They're real. My spies have seen them. The problem is we don't know when the swap will take place. Just have to delay them long enough for Monarch Storm to solidify their power.
Shouldn't be long now. Our monarch is on the verge of greatness. I can feel it. The chiefs must continue to aid the monarch by countering the other region's schemes. They will win the game if the monarch completes their ambition.
Raise your own defiance to at least 10.
Oh, damn it. It wasn't time for tax breaks? A laughing stock? That sounds bad. The rewards of prosperity. Good news from the south? No. North. We're so close to winning this thing. Your Holiness, merchants are visiting the south from as far afield as Valamir and Atesh. Our quarterly figures are stunning. Your quarterly what? Money. Lots and lots of money.
Your Highness, this southern economist has an audacious idea for all this wealth. Call it an experiment. We give the peasants gold whether or not they're working. This will ensure a base level of comfort and security for all.
Ninth preserve us! What are you saying? That we should hand out cash for nothing?
With respect, how is that different from grandees receiving fees from their serfs?
It's completely different. Your Majesty, this lunacy cannot possibly be considered.
In characters. Implement the new economic strategy, encourage merchants to visit other regions across the kingdom too. Or host a financial summit in the capital.
Hey everyone! Time to boost trade and get paid for it. But I mean, I guess you could vote for other things too. Option C is really funny. To, like, demand a one-time extra tax. Execute this commie. By the knife, but those are our merchants! It's tough for the grandees to give up some of their monopoly. But as merchants extend trade routes across the kingdom, the other regions quickly feel the benefit. More and more counting houses are built, and long-abandoned roads are rebuilt to allow for safe passage of caravans. Alright. How goes my conquest? Soldiers have set up outside the city walls. Inspector troops, 100% chance. Camp stretches for miles outside the walls of the city. The ground has been churned to muds under tens of thousands of boots. As you approach, you are greeted by an awesome sight. Yeah, everyone get a rising tide lifted all ships. Rank upon rank of hard-faced footmen, holding swords aloft. Knights on horseback, their plate mail glinting. Archers and crossbowmen training furiously, hitting target after target. Beautiful, ain't it? Let's bring Ashmead to its knees. Blood! Blood for the ninth god! Your soldiers let out a full-throated roar.
For the kingdom! For the monarch!
The army is a vast, stinking, hungry monster that swallows up the landscape as it marches south. When you arrive at the border, your soldiers spill across like a flood, sweeping away the surprised Ashmedian sentries in their path. To tell the truth, you don't see much of the fighting. Your job is to just give inspirational speeches before the battle starts, wave a sword around, then duck back into your tent. Despite that, or perhaps because of that, your first Ashmedian campaign is a huge success. By the time you return to the capital for winter, you've conquered almost 100 miles of territory along the border. As the city gates swing open, you're greeted by a rush of joyous sound. Clapping, cheering, peasants are throwing roses at your carriage. Trailing behind you, of course, is also a retinue of wounded soldiers nursing deep-seated trauma and grieving their lost comrades. The peasants largely ignore them. All hail the monarch, the conquering hero!
Pull out a sword and give it a waggle. The people will love that. Several peasants swoon in delight. Lead the army. I mean, they didn't give me the option to. I wish I could have, like I could in the rebellion, but oh well. When you return to the palace, your wife is waiting for you. Your heir, Storm II, in her arms. My darling, you're finally back. I've been breathlessly following the tales of your conquest. We have so much to talk about. Little Storm II has been growing up so fast in your absence. Sorry, dear, but the council has requested a meeting. Oh, of course. Well, hurry back, my love. As you step back into the council's presence for the first time in many months, the nobles all look up at you with trepidation. Welcome back, your august majesty! Let me be the first to congratulate you on your victory! But now we can get back to the business of ruling. There are many votes that need your attention. Did you forget there's a war on? But what about democracy? The Constitution? Did the monarch misspeak? We may have won a victory, but Ashmead will strike back. And strike back hard. We don't have time for votes. We need to prepare. And if you squabbling bastards don't unite behind the monarch right away, you'll wake up next year with Ashmeadian soldiers in your bedchambers. Do I make myself clear? Crystal. Nothing like a common enemy, eh? Yes, your esteemed highness, if there's one thing we hate more than each other, it's the Ashmeadian Empire. Rhetoric is a congratulation. After that, the nobles never defy you again, but it's not like your life gets easier. Your Majesty, I hate to interrupt your meeting, but I just received word that the Ashmeadian Empire is marching on our newly conquered territories. We're sending 30 regiments. We need to mobilize immediately. With a sigh, you head back to the palace to say goodbye to your wife. Here we go again. The monarch is victorious! And the chiefs, of course. The chiefs celebrated their victory, and Storm was venerated as a true hero of the North. But some whispered that the chiefs were losing control of their monarch, of their puppet, as the monarch consolidated their power around their heir, Prince Storm II. That is my first monarch win, Silvar. I have taken an L on every single other game of this I've played. The Grandee's attempt to worm their way into the palace was uncovered, and a number of arrests were made. Grandee Silvarian ended his life chained upside down to a dungeon wall. All that remained of the Patrician's attempt to usurp the crown was a prisoner, deep under the palace, clad in an iron mask and shrouded in rumor. Monarch Storm's reign spanned another 15 glorious years, mostly spent fighting in foreign fields. They conquered land from Tavalin and Ashmead, lost it, campaigned to get it back. By the time the old warrior died, they were battle-scarred and celebrated as a hero. But most of all, they were tired. Yeah, thank you for joining, Dar. Monarch Storm the Lion.
Let's go!
And thank you for the follow, Creep 2. I thank you for honoring me with a humble, to spend some of your humble wealth upon a follow. I try to do these games about once a month. I usually run 2 or 3 games. That one was a little longer, so I think I'm going to have to start to wrap up. It's getting a little late for me. Very expensive, exactly. I do have more streams going on this weekend, though. Tomorrow I will be doing a little something I call Shuffle Saturday, where I play a different random game every 30 minutes, and chat has the ability to affect what game comes up with some vetoes, some channel point things. It's a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, I will be playing some more Wargroove. I'm in the middle of the campaign there. So after being the conquering hero in King of the Castle, we'll see if I can keep up that performance in actual strategy game. For sure, I mean, show new games in that. Exactly, Creep2. And I have so many bad games that can come up on that list. You get it. So, thank you everyone oh so much for coming out and playing. This is a lot of fun every time. If you're watching the VOD after the fact, I see you and I appreciate you. I am going to, he probably is not going that much longer, but I'm going to give a raid to my buddy, Brian J, who is playing some FTL, Pure Torture, or some awesome games, no in between, absolutely. And yes, I do have a Discord. I hang around there, I take suggestions for games. Feel free to join if you want. If not, whatever, it's fine.
I will also be pinging everyone when I go live. Feel like there was something else I was supposed to say. Damn you, Whiskey. Say hi to Brian. Until next time, my name is Vimbert. I'll see you around the internets.